Welcome, everybody. It is episode 7 of Wizards and Warriors. I am one of your hosts, FriscoPinball, Hadi. My co-host
Hey,
right here.
Jay Land, what's going on?
Not much, man. Welcome back. It's been a couple months since we last talked. We saw each other at Starfighters, hung out, got an Airbnb with our friend Jeff Teolis and his buddy. It was a good time, and life gets in the way, work gets busy, but we will try to be a little more consistent as far as time between episodes. But it's been fun. There's been a ton of competitive pinball to go over.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be interesting going through those. How have you been? What's been going on in your life in the competitive world? And then after this, we'll get started because this is a very special episode. If you watched episode 6, we interviewed and did a in-depth analysis with Zach McCarthy, ZMAC, for Indisc. And this episode, we have a special guest as well, and we'll reveal that in a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Hadi. I've been good, man. We just finished hosting or running a Virginia's first mega match play.
Nice.
20 rounds of games. Biggest kind of Whopper Hall in the state of Virginia.
Wow.
And it went really well. Got our good personal friend Carlos de la Cerda came out, and was able to play and meet a lot of folks here in Virginia that he hadn't met before. So that was really cool to see. Just moving on to more tournaments.
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff to cover.
I know, right? The tour of Laser Los continues. I'm glad glad his world tour stopped by your stomping grounds, but that's awesome to hear. The bigger tournaments are happening everywhere, region-wise. I know every state is trying to find their own good sort of fit for attracting people to get those juicy whoppers. We're having the 2025 Titan PinMasters regional in Texas. They're trying to make the whoppers bigger than TPF, which happened while we were gone.
Whoa.
So we'll see, because TPF's a big one. But like I said, we have another special episode here. We're going to recap a ton of tournaments from late February to the present and recap the 2025 PinMasters with your winner, Raymond Davidson. That's going to be our special guest. We'll talk to Ray about his pinball life, thoughts on competitive pinball, his approach, and kind of go in depth with his strategy and analysis on winning that illustrious 2025 PinMasters title, as well as both the main and classics title at the Starfighters Pinball Festival. He got the double belt in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun watching him compete and you and I competing. Quick side note, both Joe and I reached pro rankings this year, which is awesome to do. Joe got it after his awesome performance at Indisc, and he made the pro rankings, which is cool because I know that was one of his goals. And I had a really decent Starfighters. I placed third in the Sunday Strikes, which was over 100 people. And we both kind of finished in the same area at the main and then classics. I think I was top 8 qualifier, but I got knocked out in the first round, as it happens. But I had a good time. So I think I got as high as 237 for pro rankings. But I think we're good. This is the last episode of Wisdom. No, I'm just kidding. No, but congrats to you. And I'm glad we could do it. So hopefully this lends a little more credence to what we're talking about. I know I don't always get everything right. Little faux pas there. It was a good time. I do want to give a shout out for Starfighters, everybody that ran it, everybody that helped, all the volunteers. It was a really, really fun tournament. Shout out to Atomic Age Pinball on Twitch. Make sure you go check them out. They streamed it. It was a really quality stream to get that Stern Pro Circuit event, get some footage for it, because they didn't have a lot of it in the years prior. So what did you think of Starfighters and some of the other stuff that has been happening since we've been last here?
Yeah, no, Hadi. Starfighters was great, man. It was my first time out in Arizona to play pinball. The new location, or I guess it's kind of renovated recently. For the Starfighters arcade was great. The space, there's a lot of space for people to kind of hang out, and they had the nice tables out outside to kind of lounge in. Plenty of room, and the games all played great. So overall, great tournament. Got to check out the Electric Bat arcade.
That was fun.
Shout out Kale and Rachel.
Yeah.
That was really really cool spot.
Yeah.
Legendary arcade. I feel like even in terms of pinball, just crazy that they're open every day. Like, what is it, 6 a.m. until like, was it 2 a.m. or something? Like,
yeah.
It's just such a cool spot.
It is unreal how good of a location that is. And they have some really good pins there. They had a band going when you, me, Teolis, and I'm sorry. What's his name? Shane? I forgot.
Shane.
Yeah. So from Manitoba Pinball, it was awesome. Like we got to walk through and just explore kind of Arizona. You guys got to take in a spring training game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's
been
so
to a baseball
long,
game
right?
with Jeff. It was that was awesome. We both kind of buzzed it out of finals on Sundays. We're like, all right, we're just gonna go hang out in the sun. I think when I left DC back in February, it was like snowing, and then we were just wearing shorts and a t-shirt every day when we were in Arizona. So it was so nice.
It was great. Like, kudos to you for getting us that Airbnb, and it was a good location. It all worked out. I'm noticing now in tournaments, if I'm traveling, you're going to always see a lot of the same people, and it's cool to kind of help the costs go down by sharing an Airbnb if you can, or, if you're sharing a room, splitting the cost. And it worked out because if you don't do well at a part of the tournaments, you can go see the area. And a lot of these tournaments are in places I've never been before. I'm headed up to, and we'll talk about this, Yegpin next week. So I'm excited to see Edmonton. I'm sure I've been there, and I feel like I went there for a fraternity formal or something, or when my dad took us from California to Canada to see everything. But really good time. I think the time from our last episode to now, there have been so many big or bigger tournaments and newer ones, like the Whopper Chopper in Wisconsin. So we'll get to those. We can talk a little bit of pinball news here. Again, this is a competitive pinball podcast, but I might as well talk a little bit about it. So got a ton of new releases. Pinball is like at an all-time fever pitch for variety, availability of new stuff. TPF happened in my town of Frisco, Texas, and it was a great festival, as it always is. A little more subdued, issues with people traveling, getting here. Plus, also, there wasn't a ton of new pinball to play, but the tournament itself had a new format change. We'll talk about that.
Yep.
And just a good time. So new releases, King Kong, making its way from Stern Pinball, Keith Elwin and crew. I got to play it and stream it last week. One of his most unique layouts. Have you played it yet? I forgot to ask. I apologize.
No, you're good. We haven't gotten any on location yet, but what'd you think?
It's really, really good. The code is pretty solid for the initial release. I know a lot of criticism has been leveled at Stern for some of the incomplete code that consumers have categorized. I don't know. I played X-Men at TPF for like 5 hours. I was trying to get on the leaderboard, and I really enjoyed it. I understand the engineering issues and some of the stuff that people want to see, especially for owners that have owned it for a long time now. I had a great time. But King Kong, really unique layout, and very, very well fleshed as far as code for now. I think the art package in person looks a lot more subdued. I still don't agree with the approach. I wish they would have done more Congo style, but I get that Zombie Yeti has a palette and style, and I've loved his work on the pins that I have. I have AIQ, Venom, and Godzilla, and those are all really well done. So, but overall, the package is a winner. I think it's going to be better than Jaws. I don't know if it will be better than Godzilla, which is a tall task, because Godzilla is so phenomenal. But man, it's got a chance to be a great tournament pin. The shots that I was going for, making, and some of the strategies, super cool stuff. The main multi-ball is not hard to get to. You just have to sweep the drops twice to get to the subway, multi-ball or subway car. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. The log diverter is people are going to be forgetting to hit the action button to hit that log diverter so you can get up to the upper left flipper. But yeah, really, really good release. And we've got something else that's coming up soon. But before that, Dune, released from Barrels of Fun. I know that the code is really early there, but man, that looks like a insane shooter. It looks like a really big step up from Labyrinth. And I don't expect anything less from a company that wowed on its first release, making such a crazy world under glass, as they call it. What'd you think of Dune?
Yeah, it looks great. I know a few of my friends that went to the Allentown show most recently, got a chance to play it, and had some good things to say about the game. I'm excited for it. I mean, I really enjoyed playing Labyrinth, and like you said, I got a lot of faith in Barrels of Fun. I wish them nothing but success. So yeah, I hope they knock it out.
Yeah, another Texas company. They got Bowen Cairns and Phil Grimaldi on code for that, and the rest of their crew. So I can't wait to get to play it. I think they're definitely having one at Yegpin, and I expect them to just wow us. And what's really cool was that back LCD behind the playfield, and how like when you hit certain shots and certain mechs, like explosions happen in that area. It's localized to those regions, so it adds a little more immersion. Super nice. Cool. Yeah, I can't wait. But the big one, which everybody was told to hold their money for, Harry Potter, probably in a couple weeks from JJP. It's going to be the biggest license in a long time as far as intellectual property. What do you think would be bigger than Harry Potter? Pokemon? Like just magnitude of license.
Pokemon, if I had to guess. Yeah,
what else is there? Mario, I guess, maybe. But I don't think... I'm just trying to think of the demographic for pinball players. It's older gentlemen. I don't know what... I mean, Back to the Future is big, but I don't know if it's bigger than Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, that's like a whale of a license,
I don't think we have many big like whale licenses left. So, I mean, Star Wars is the only one that I could think is bigger, which is the next rumored Stern title in the fall. Hopefully before that we get the Walking Dead remastered, my favorite code of all time. Rest in peace, Lyman. You graced us with some great work. So Harry Potter, next couple weeks, we'll see what happens and what it looks like. For me, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but I know the franchise is so big as far as content that they have to pull from. I wish they would split it into 2 pins, like films 1 through 3 or whatever, and then 4 through 7, 4 through 6 for the second pin, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Merlin's Arcade got released from Turner Pinball, another Texas company. I got to play that, talk with Chris Turner. Looks like a lot of fun. It's got a tap pass button.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so you know how...
Easy button.
Yeah. So now on the side, you know how like P3 has a separate button and some other... But it's called, I forgot what it's called, the flipper pass on whatever their special name is, but it's a tap pass button, so...
No way.
It's a cheat code.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So,
That's awesome.
That's going to be on location. It'll be at the 2025 Titan Pinball PinMasters here in Azle, Texas, towards the end of May. I'm sure you'll get to see all the footage, gameplay, impressions from everybody on all these pins. Make sure you check out your Twitch pinball channels, the category, and go from there. I will more likely... No, we already did that. Make sure you go to FriscoPinball.com as we transition into this next segment or discussion. That is where my Twitch page, it lands on my Twitch page. There's also a QR code with a link tree that has all our socials, which is our side note. So we've been streaming on the Pinball Network. I've been a part of it for a few years now. We used to do weekly consistent streams on Twitch and YouTube. But the Pinball Network is sort of outgrown itself. There's a lot of great content creators, Triple Drain, The Pinball Show, Zach and Dennis, Silverball Chronicles, Teolis has his final round. So it's kind of grown to something where everybody has their own pages. So we're not doing weekly streams there, which means that they're not going to be actively putting out new content. So all the stuff that you would see on the Pinball RSS feed for podcasts like Spotify, Podbean, and Apple Podcasts are not going to be updating anymore, which means that you will need to catch Wizards and Warriors on Spotify on its separate podcast page, and the video versions will still remain on YouTube at FriscoPinball. So youtube.com/FriscoPinball. And then I'll link everybody to the new Spotify page and Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. But just go to FriscoPinball.com. All the links will be there. Go to my YouTube and you'll be able to catch us there. What the good news is, the video format will be on Spotify now, and if I can get it on Apple Podcasts as well. I do want to thank the Pinball Network for all the years of supporting me as a streamer and supporting our podcast, Wizards and Warriors. Zach, Joel, George from Don't Panic Flip, everyone at TPN, we're always happy to help me grow from a simple virtual pinball streamer 3-4 years ago to what we have today. But yeah, kudos to them. It's been a really good ride. But make sure to reach out to us at Wizards and Warriors Podcast at gmail.com if you have any questions where we're at. If you want to highlight your upcoming or recent tournaments, have any questions about competitive pinball, we'll still have the TPN logo on our streams and this podcast, but everyone's doing a good job, like I said, growing their own channels. So it made sense for TPN to kind of wind down. That's our little spiel there, just for an update. Thanks for listening. Let's get on with episode 7. Right now, we're going to do a quick review of the winners of the most recent tournaments since February, since Starfighters in February, since that's when our last episode happened. We got a lot to go over since we've been away for a bit. So if you're watching this video, you can see all the other winners. We're just kind of highlight who won and their whoppers versus list 10 people like we normally would. So let's get to it. We got a viewer request, Drew Syke, out in Canada, right?
Yes, Manitoba.
Yes, all right. So he emailed us and asked us to highlight the Manitoba Pinball Championship this past week. A couple weeks ago, April 25th, 26th, 27th. They had 2 certified events, one pump and dump, one match play, and he asked us to talk about it. So again, Wizards and Warriors podcast at gmail.com. Joe, why don't you take it away with main event number 1?
Yeah, event 1, we got a certified championship, which I believe was the pump and dump.
Yeah.
The winner there, Jack Tadman. Shout out Jack, taking home 98.36 whoppers.
Yeah, that's really good. Hey, there's Luke, number 2. So yeah, that was their Herb event, and then we had the match play. Main event certified on April 26th. Sean Russell picked up 95.06 points. Congratulations to you there. Again, if you want to see these on screen, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see them. Just watch the video of this podcast. And your final 4, it looks like we had Drew, Sean, Phil, and Luke. So we got to get to the recent tournaments. I'll let you handle Starfighters if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Looks like we've got the Classics tournament here. I know we just mentioned, but shout out RayDay. Raymond Davidson won that one. Taking him up massive 193 whoppers there.
Yeah.
That was awesome to watch.
A good time, right? Yeah.
And then for the the main event, Starfighters main. Again, RayDay took that one as well. With over 200 whoppers there. So another massive big weekend for him.
That is 393 whoppers in one weekend. That is, how many do I have total? I think that's
right.
That's well 80% of my total. So after that.
Yeah, after that we've got Lumberjack Johnny's Whopper Chopper.
Yes.
So that was a big event out in Wisconsin, Appleton, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Pretty close to District 82.
It was a hybrid.
That's right. Yeah, it was a hybrid event.
Yep.
So is it the first? I think it was the first hybrid event they'd run in that space, maybe in that state.
Yeah, I know other people. I think last time on our last episode, someone mentioned one of the Discords that they had run their first hybrid event and went well. But yeah, this was Tom from Fox Cities Pinball was promoting this one, and this was the first, decent sized one, at least in Wisconsin.
Yep. So yeah, shout out to the thrift god Dominic Labella for winning that one. Get just over 100 whoppers there, so that's pretty awesome. I did watch the finals for that, so that was a really nice finish with him from him there. He took on Andy, looks like Nathan Zalewski and Jason Werdrick in the final.
So do you know the specifics of what a hybrid event is?
I haven't looked it up closely. I think it's like limited entry, right?
Yeah.
So, and it depends on how many games are in the main bank.
You
get like X number of entries per game. But yeah, it's just to kind of reward efficiency, right? It's all about efficiency in pinball.
Yeah, I know, right? And they gave away new in-box Stern Pro.
It did, yeah. I think it was Ryan Egg who won that one.
That's right.
I think he got a Jaws.
Ooh,
decided.
Great call.
But
all right, we got the Emerald City Cup March 2nd, same weekend as Whopper Chopper. Emerald City in Seattle, Washington, TD Germain. And the results for that main winner was David Johnston. 122 Whoppers for your win at the Emerald City Cup. I swear Washington has like the most and best Whopper size tournament. Yeah.
You got Jermaine out there. He's like the Whopper mastermind.
Yeah, right.
He will come up with, whatever format it takes to get to like the maximum amount.
It's crazy. I'm so jealous of them. And then after that, we've got the IFPA NACS, the North American Pinball Championship. Huge tournament. A lot of fun to watch. Held up at the Rochester Pinball Collective in East Rochester, New York. Make sure you check out the folks at the Slam Till podcast, Bruce and Ron. Bruce, one of the operators, many operators at the RPC. This was their inaugural NACS and PinMasters there, and they did a phenomenal job. Your winner of the 2024 IFPA North American Pinball Championship, because it runs on a previous yearly cycle, is none other than Jason Zoller. Congratulations, Mr. Zoller, for continuing to dominate. I'll give you your top four there. It was Zoller, Z-Mac, Luke Nahorniak, and Donovan Stepp in your top four. Zoller took home the coveted title and 96 Whoppers. But on the same weekend, we had another big tournament. Which one is that?
PinMasters. Got some pin golf. Yeah. And that one, huge tournament. Quite a lot of points there. RayDay took that one down with over 200 Whoppers there, 206.
That's crazy.
So that was, that's great to watch.
And like we said, RayDay is going to be our special guest. He's going to go over in depth with analysis of each match, each pin during the finals. And he's also going to talk to us before that just about his pinball life, career, and some of his thoughts on pinball. Plus, stay till the end. We did a final quick rapid round with him with some interesting answers there. After the PinMasters, we had the Texas Pinball Festival, my favorite pinball show. A little biased because it's in Frisco, Texas, hence the name FriscoPinball. But new format this year. It was limited entry for all the previous years. They had a main and classics. The scrutinizer was still there, but this year it was a 2-day match play event, and it was 10 rounds, 6 rounds through the first day, and then 7, 8, 9, 10 on the second day, or I think it was 5 and 5 or 6 and 4. But it was 2 games per round, and then top 32, I think, made the playoffs. Really much better format. It allowed a lot of the participants and competitors to actually go enjoy TPF, because normally you'd be stuck in the queue waiting for your turn to get all your entries in to make sure you qualified for main and classics. No classics this year, unfortunately. I was a bit bummed about that. Really nice job, Kevin Stone, TDing that along with everybody from Texas. Lewis Marks, the Dronettes, and I know I'm forgetting some other people. Garrett, Carpool Pinball helped out with Clark and Keith. So thank you all for a really wonderful TPF tournament. I did okay. Honestly, through like 8, I was like 8th or 10th place. And then the last 2 rounds, I just completely bozoed and fell out of the playoffs.
No.
Yeah, not the ideal performance, but it's a lesson learned. I was playing with the Bob from Atomic Age, and we both needed to do well on that last round to make the playoffs, and he did what he had to do. We played Roadshow and Congo, and I think I got second on Roadshow, but screwed up on Congo. But anyways, what are you gonna do? That's.
Do you want to? Oh, sorry. Do you want to quickly shout out one of our local young and up and coming players, Nolan Mitchell? He won the kids tournament.
Oh hell
at
yeah!
TPF, which I think it was just a best score game on Roadshow, and then it was like maybe a top 4 kind of final.
Dude, that's awesome.
His dad. His dad is the one who hosted the mega match play. Shout out Mike. But he took a picture of Nolan with the trophy, and it was just this massive trophy. I think it's like as tall as he was. And they had to they flew out to Texas, so like he had to kind of break it down to take it onto the airplane. Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, I saw the picture of the kids with the trophies, and I was like, dude, they got hooked up. But congratulations, Melvin. That's super cool. You never, as a kid, man, there's a great feeling about, competing, and even if it's a smaller tournament, whatever sport you're in, but man, to come to Frisco, compete and walk home with some hardware, that's got to feel great. Kudos. Thanks for mentioning that. But yeah, so your winner of the 2025 new format TPF, Texas Pinball Festival Wizards Tournament, was Texas's own Preston Monclub. Man, he was on a tear. He was killing it. Jack Revenue was second. Garrett, our current state, from last year, he was last year's Texas State champ. I think Colin won it this year, was third. And Nick Mueller, who was in PinMasters too, so just dominating, was top 4. Yeah, we got a lot of great players on that list. Come watch the video and you'll see them there. What's next?
Nice. Yeah, next up we've got the Mid-Atlantic Pinball Open, or MAPO, out in the lavish Delaware Pinball Collective.
Yeah, that's true.
Run by Chad Hastings. So the winner there, we've got Jason Zoller. Big surprise.
Yeah.
It took home over 100 whoppers there, 106. I'm not sure if that even made his card, but shout out Jason.
Just call it the Jay-Z Pinball Collective. He dominates that arena. After that, we got the IFPA Women's World Championship, which was also streamed. I believe it was streamed. Oh man, who was it streamed by? Backhand. Yes, great job, Backhand. He also streamed the UK Open and a ton of other tournaments. Really great quality, just like Fox Cities, IE Pinball.
Shout out Mark.
Yeah, really, he does a great job of putting on quality content and footage of these tournaments. So thank you, Mark. But your March 30, 2025 IFPA Women's World Championship was Carrie Wing. Really good job playing Carrie. Didn't she come back? I feel
Dude, it was like the reverse sweep. She was down. Was it 0-4 and then 1 or 0-3 and then 1-4 straight? It's incredible.
You want some good play, and you need some extra content or extra footage to watch. Watch the Women's World Championship. Watch any women's event. They had a really cool one in Texas recently this year with a ton of little tournaments for kind of like District 82 used to throw. But man, it was awesome. You got Kaylee, Elizabeth Gieske, Cassidy, Sammy Bacon. Look at those names. They're all great players. So kudos, ladies, for the amazing pinball play, and congratulations, Carrie.
Up next, we've got the Pastimes Mega Match Play. Happened April 6th. John Del Zappo won that one.
Oh, nice.
178 whoppers. Yeah, shout out John. Nice job.
Oh, I forgot. Carrie got 189 women's whoppers for the women's world. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Did you go to this one? I can't remember.
No, I was signed up, but April 6th was, I think my wife had a girls trip. So I can't really say no because I get to go to so many other things where I have to kind of like pick and choose. And rightfully so. She's very patient with me wanting to participate in these tournaments with 2 little kids. So if she's got a girls trip, I am on daddy duty.
There you go.
Yeah, but I do want to get up to. I do want to get up there.
Yeah, I know a lot of my kind of local Virginia players went up for this one, and got to experience pastimes for the first time, and had great things to say about it. It's just such an incredible collection.
You've been there.
Yeah, I was at one of the mega match plays. I think it was late last year, and then they just announced another one happening. I think it's in November of this year, with signups later, maybe in a few weeks or months. But definitely on my radar. We should sign up for that one, Hadi.
Yeah, I should. I'm looking at it now, dude. Look at all those whoppers. 170. Oh my goodness! If you got 15th, you'd get 66, which is like.
Oh yeah.
That would be at least 3rd or 2nd on my card right now. Wow, man, that's and it's a really, really nice location, right? Rob Burke's place.
Yep. Yeah. It's a lot of space in between rounds. You can play, any of the games in the main collection outside the tournament room, and really good milkshakes.
Yeah, that's like that is reason enough to get up there. That's awesome. All right, congrats, John Del Zoppo. Really, really cool to see you win that one. And Ohio putting on some more big tournaments. Like we said before, I think this year and like the middle of the back half of last year, you really saw a lot of regional tournaments that really were able to get big whoppers. And it's great because everybody doesn't have to go to one spot for the opportunity to earn these points. So now there's so many different options. And I think that is a good result of the way the IFPA has evolved. And we will have Josh Sharp on here, hopefully next episode or in the coming episodes. I asked him at Indisc if he'd like to come on, just, talk competitive pinball, how everything started. Like we talked with Ray about his time coming up on the scene and playing with Keith Elwin and all those guys. So that'd be fun. But I think the results are showing for themselves. So after that, we got the Max Value Classic Challenge in Seattle, Washington. April 6th, 2025. John Robinson, your winner, with 96.99 points. Ashley Weaver, second, 76 points.
Nice. Yeah, shout out. It's another Jermaine tournament. I'm actually kind of copying that format and running a tournament here in Virginia Memorial Day weekend. So we'll test it out, see if the players here like it.
Are you kind of getting your bearings now that you've done enough and seeing what works, what doesn't work as a TD?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's nice to, I'm starting to help with our, local pinball league. So kind of keeping sharp with rulings and, the IFPA rules.
Have you had any that have sort of thrown you for a loop rulings wise or no? Not yet.
Nothing too crazy. Mostly it's like, there'll be some kind of malfunction on a machine and you kind of decide on like how to proceed. But thankfully, there's so many experienced TDs in the area that we can kind of help each other out.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's good.
Yeah, I hope one day I can. My retirement goal is to open a barcade or just a pinball arcade, and then I can run tournaments. But we got, kids are expensive, so
one thing at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So up next, we've got the Silver Ball Rumble at Pintastic. So this is Pintastic's main tournament up in Marlborough, Massachusetts, run by Jim Swain and team. And Jason Zoller won this one. Got over 186 whoppers. I do want to shout out Liam Bradley, finished in the top 4. He had an insane run. I don't know if you kind of saw the bracket, but I was following along in real time. He knocked out Bowen Cairns in the first round, 4-0. And then I think it was like Jillian Town in the next round, another 4-0. Like he didn't lose a match until the 3rd round when he played Jason Werdrick.
Wow.
And also knocked him out. And then he played Carlos and took Carlos to 7 games.
The Bradley kids are really good. I've played against them at Indisc and or with them at Indisc, but also against them at TPF last year. Their dad, I forgot his name, and
he's Michael.
And then their mom, Reggie, I think her name is. I've talked to them, really nice people, and their kids are so good and so just model kids for, just being competitors and soaking everything in, and they're just really talented. So,
yeah,
good job, Liam.
It's always nice to see that.
Yeah, exactly.
Future of pinball right there.
Yeah, and it's not easy because at that age I was a terror. I would have lost, like, if I didn't like qualify, I probably would have been like, all right, I'm never doing this again, and thrown a chair. WWE style. All right, after that we got the IFPA European Pinball Championship, the EPC, April 13th, 2025. Michael Trepp, held in Belgium. Middelkerk. So I don't want to butcher that location name. Timber Engelbin, your winner with 178 points in Belgium. So our friends across the pond are hosting their own awesome tournaments, and kudos to you.
Nice. Up next, we've got the Concord Open. This is out in Concord, California. This tournament was run by Jared Garvey. Shout out Jared. And it looks like Sean Erbry took this one down with over 116 points.
Nice.
Congrats, Sean.
Then we got the debut of King Kong by Keith Elwin and Stern Pinball. Pinball at the Zoo. That looked like a lot of fun. The whole festival. April 19th, they have their own tournament, but Pinball at the Zoo, Pats as it's affectionately known, had a ton of people, ton of new pins to see. But King Kong was the star. People got their hands on it, and it's selling well. But your winner for the main tournament at Pinball at the Zoo, Matthew Stacks, 152.31 whoppers. See, you can get points everywhere. You get Kalamazoo, Michigan, TD, Alex Harmon, the main tournament, a lot of fun. Yeah, I watched some of it. I didn't get to see the finals, but a lot of familiar names there. You got Tom Graff, Steve Bowden, Preston Curry, Andy Rosa. But your winner, Matthew Stacks.
Nice. All right. Up next, we've got a little local action here. I got the repping the Pin Baltimore shirt today.
There it is.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think the main results are posted yet, but shout out MJR, Peanut, Matthew Richardson. He won the main tournament on Sunday, and I believe Lewis Bevins got second. We've got the results posted here for the Rat Race, which is one of the side tournaments. Lewis Bevins won that one. And I think he also mentioned that it was the same weekend as Pinball at the Zoo, but there was like 200 people in those first two warm-up tournaments. That it was like on a Friday. It was crazy.
He posted that picture. I was like, dude, that is awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. At least this is the third time I've been to Pin Baltimore. That was the biggest turnout that I've seen. I'd be surprised if that wasn't the biggest turnout they've had, but I could be wrong. And then the Baltimore City Women's Championships. Shout out Candace Selby for winning. She gets 67 points out of that one, and well on our way to being, if not the top player in Maryland for women's division.
I'll let you do this next one. It's near and dear to your heart.
Sure thing. Yeah. Mitchell's Mega Match Play, the first and biggest Mega Match Play event in Virginia. So that happened a couple weeks ago, April 26th, 27th. Brian Henson, myself, and Dave Hubbard, we were the TDs for the event. But shout out Brian. He was kind of the main TD for that and kind of getting everything organized. And Dave Hubbard won that with over 100 points, 102.69 points.
That's awesome.
There was a thrilling tiebreaker in the end to decide who won. It was really fun to watch. Stoller got second. Stoller Schultz. Shout out Stoller. He's another up and coming young player in Virginia who has been really killing it lately.
Awesome. Yeah, I see your name right there. You got 12?
Oh, yeah. I was in there in the mix, got a pretty good qualifying day and then buzzed it out of finals. But
hey, 21 points. Not bad.
Yeah,
More than I've
made
that's
hard.
Yeah, that's like 3 of my last performances, so that's not bad. After that, we got the LPA Open, April 27th, 2025. Jan Nilsson in Sweden ran this, the LPA. They've got the Lund Academy there, I believe, and your winner, No surprise here. You got Arvid Flaguer at 179.72 whoppers. There's Vigo there as well. Peter, Linus, Paul Engler, all in the mix. Congratulations, gentlemen, for another successful LPA. That's a lot of whoppers, so kudos to you. Yeah. And yeah, that'll do it for our recap of recent tournaments. I'm sure there's one we missed. There was the Toad Suck Shootout here in Texas, hosted by Ken Kemp. It's always a good time. They throw it every year. Every year it's for charity. I believe your winner was his son, Austin Kemp. That was a lot of fun. I got to play in that. But yeah, if you have a tournament that you want us to highlight, no matter how big or small, as long as it's not you versus your kids at your house, your own collection, like I was trying to figure out, hit us up, wizardsandwarriorspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to highlight it. If you want to come on and promote it, please feel free to do so. Just reach out to us. You can hit me up on Discord. I'm FriscoPinball everywhere. Hit up Joe. But yeah, definitely email us. We get your emails, and we would love to hear your feedback or help you promote your next tournament. And with that, talking about upcoming tournaments, we do have some upcoming ones. So a big one next week. What do we got?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. What do we got? Next week is Yegpin.
Yes.
Man, Hadi, you're going.
Yes, first time. Last year I went to the UK Open to wet my feet and leaving the country for the first time. I've driven through Canada to go to the Beast. I've been to Canada before, but I wanted to experience Yegpin. The guys, you got Derek Thompson, the Stinchcombe brothers. They've always been so nice. I love talking to them at all these tournaments. And all the Canadians at Starfighters were just so cool. Like, I love that they had a big contingent come down, just like you were talking about having to leave cold weather. Man, they were probably so happy. Yeah, they were talking. Chillis was talking like, oh yeah, you got a little snow, because we had some in Texas before that. He's like, oh, what is that? This is real snow, and then he shows you pictures and videos. But I'm excited, not only to compete, they're going to have a really good show, and I can't wait to hopefully do well, but also to see everybody up there and play with our friends from the North. You can't forget the North. The North never forgets.
I know Derek, sorry.
No,
I know Derek Thompson was there at Starfighters, so he was kind of talking it up, and they run a great event every year. So I'm excited for you. Hope to make it there someday. Yeah,
I'm hoping to see you there too. The Whoppers are great. It's a Stern Pro Circuit event. I think it's one of those tournaments you got to do at least once just to go test it out. I know it's got not controversy, but it's got some what's the word?
It's pretty polarizing.
Yeah.
The game setups, but
they set up their games a little different, but I'm excited to play on them. I got off the wait list. I know there's some other people going that we talked to in Discord. I think Roland was on the wait list, and Anil from Hot Nudge. I don't know if they're signed up, but it's going to be a great time. Starts next Thursday, May 15th, runs through the whole weekend. And yeah, Edmonton, Canada. After that, you got the amazing pinball race in Ostrander, Ohio, May 23rd through the 25th. And like we were talking, there's something every week. There's literally a big tournament every week, and I'm so happy to see that. You can look on the footage of the video podcast right now. We've got the image up, and you can just see the Stern 2025 Stern Pinball Pro Circuit. And this is just the Pro Circuit. There's also the regional, mega match plays, the different themed events that you can go to where you can earn a ton of whoppers.
What same weekend as Yegpin, Golden State Pinball Festival out in where is it? California, Lodi.
Yes,
Lodi. So I went to this event last year. Sad I can't make it this year. Incredible event. Along the same lines as like up in Baltimore, just a lot of fun. They have the whole campground set up. Highly recommend you guys check it out if you're in the area. Yeah, it's a great time.
You did pretty well at that tournament, right?
Last year, yeah, finished fifth in the main tournament. It's actually very similar format as the new TPF this year.
Gotcha.
So there's 2 qualifying sessions, top 16 from each session make it to finals. So there's a field of 32, and then it's great.
That's super cool. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I remember I've wanted to go there. Being from California, I've always wanted to play at a big one other than Indisc. I mean, Indisc is the king of the mountain as far as tournaments. Just if you can do well at Indisc, man, you've really, really done well. Kind of like you did at this year's during the match play. But yeah, I can't wait to see the footage from that. And in our next episode, we'll probably recap Yegpin, just because it's so big and it's such a really nice tournament. So you won't have to wait too long for the next episode. After I get back from Yegpin, hopefully we can record the week after or the coming week, so just a couple weeks, and then before Pinburg, which is happening at the end of July, and then we'll probably get a June tournament, maybe a June episode in there as well. But after that, we've got the Sweeper City Open. Kudos to Galvin. I love seeing his posts on Facebook promoting it, and Gregory Kennedy, I think, is helping with it, maybe, and then maybe Jack Nebraska.
Yep.
Okay, but yeah. So that's Sweeper City Open, not on the pro circuit, but I don't remember if I watched or I read about it last year. People were telling about their experience. Looks like a lot of fun. And then the Brisbane Masters, home of Escher Lefka. Just kidding. But Brisbane Masters, July 19th through the 20th in Queensland, Australia. Get to see Escher play there, I'm pretty sure. And then we get into we've got some before that. We've got some June tournaments, but July is going to be huge because it kicks off the end of July. We've got Pinburg, which is back twice as big, and I'll see you there. And from there we got the Beast, Northwest Pinball Championships, the Papa World Championships in September. So I cannot wait. And you can see the image on the podcast. Doesn't have the dates, but we'll go from there. So that is the regular portion of our episode 7. We're going to go now to the in-depth interview with Raymond Davidson, your 2025 PinMasters winner, Stern Pinball coder extraordinaire. If you don't know who he is, he has worked on many of your favorite pinball machines: Foo Fighters, Avengers, Rush, Metallica Remastered, and he was just lead on Metallica Remastered with John Borg, the designer. And I hear he's got he's proven his worth to Stern. He's probably got a big one coming up, which is all him. And I could not be happier to talk to him about PinMasters 2025. I do want to apologize to him. We were talking about Foo Fighters and the extra ball value. I shouldn't have questioned him. He was like, it's 10 million. I was like, no, it's 15, because the announcer said 15, but I forgot that they hit the bot award, which was 5 million, which is why it awarded 15. It was 10 plus 5. Never questioned the coder. So mea culpa. I apologize, Ray. I didn't mean to fight you on that. But stick around for the rest of the episode. It's awesome. It was really cool to talk to Ray. We don't want to just talk to the winners, but if you end up winning a tournament and you want to come discuss your thoughts on your performance, the rules, we would love to have you. It's fun for us. What were your thoughts before we move on to the interview?
Yeah, no, shout out Ray. He's great to talk to. I haven't really gotten a chance to talk to him really in depth before this, so grateful for the opportunity, and enjoy. Yeah,
all right. And enjoy the rest of the episode. As Joe said, we will be back after this episode to talk all things Yegpin probably. And good luck. Have fun. Enjoy listening. And see y'all later.
See ya.
Welcome, everybody. This is episode 7 of Wizards and Warriors. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's been a while. I know you've missed us plenty and our amazing, short, concise episodes, but it's been about a couple months since Starfighters in late February in beautiful Arizona. And for good reason, we have a very special episode now with us. Not only the winner of the Starfighters Main and Classics, but also a recent PinMasters winner, as well as many other competition winners. We have Raymond Davidson with us. My co-host, Jaylan Joe, is here, and I'm happy you all are joining us. Joe, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Hadi? Good to see you. Yeah, it's been a minute. Been a very busy month of April, and excited to keep going, keep playing some pinball.
Exactly right. Raymond, thank you so much for joining us. How are you this evening?
I'm great.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Really happy to have you here. It's great to pick the minds of people that have been in the competitive pinball scene and pinball in general for a long time. So thank you so much for joining us. We are going to just ask you a few questions, just like we did ZMAC on the last episode. And then for everybody else after that, we're going to talk about PinMasters and your victory there. Do you still remember it, or is it now too far gone?
It was kind of a blur when it happened. It was like a weird dream. I don't know.
Was that your first time at the RPC?
No, I've been there quite a bit. Yeah,
Okay.
Friends of mine are there, and it's just a quick flight from Chicago. So I had been there a few times. It's a great location.
Yeah, and they recently expanded it. I know the guys at Slam Tilt obviously are big into it, Bruce and Ron, and then they have other partners. Zach is there. Do you ever drive there? Is it too far? Is it just quicker to go?
I have driven there once, maybe twice actually. It takes like 10 hours, but it's doable.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I heard it's a great location, and they've got like Stomp there. And obviously they were excited to get nationals and PinMasters, and it turned out to be absolutely great competition. Fun to watch. Pin golf is obviously a different sort of animal to tackle. You're really playing against yourself and your competitors, but different to a different extent. So before we get into all of that, I wanted to ask you just some basic questions about, your pinball career, competition, how you got started, all that. So how did you get introduced to pinball? I know I heard in another interview how you got introduced into sort of the corporate side. You're working at an app or a startup app and doing some things there, and then you eventually found your way from coding. I think you said you were doing C#, but not as much as at the app, and then you started doing more C# at Stern, something like that. I could be wrong, but how did you get introduced to
Sharp plus? What's the difference?
Yeah. So how did you get introduced to pinball? Did you have family in it, or?
Yeah, originally, I guess my grandpa had a Gottlieb 1976 Pioneer, which is the two-player version of Spirit of 76. An EM from the 70s, and that was the game my dad kind of grew up playing because it was in his parents' house. They got it for the kids growing up, and then soon it became for the grandkids. And so whenever I visited my grandparents, I would always be in the corner playing the pinball machine instead of they had a pool table, air hockey, a swimming pool, but I was always playing the pinball.
You mean you could have been a competitive pool player or the next Michael Phelps?
Yeah.
Pinball robbed you of the... We took you from those other hobbies.
I just liked the pinball machine. Yeah. I liked how there was a goal to it in mind, and it felt like something you could get good at, and just you get rewarded. Like, I felt like the feedback was really good, especially on those simpler machines where you physically hear the bonus counting down.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're happy to obviously have you in the hobby. Did you play more into your teens and into college, or did you kind of forget about it and just do other things, or were you always, playing and competing?
I was kind of always into it. It kind of started getting more and more snowbally when I was able to get online and I started looking up rules for games. I learned about, the Papa World Championships. I was like, man, that'd be so cool to go to sometime. I found local tournaments, but there weren't very many because you had to be 21.
Yeah.
So I ended up just playing at a go-kart place that had a Terminator 2. I'd ride my bike to after school and just play that game. And that game helped me get really good because you have to do very specific things to get points. So I wanted to get those replays, and I felt like that really helped me develop my fundamentals of, okay, it's really important to have a focus when you're going into a game, to really, be able to get those jackpots. But yeah, I mean, eventually there was a Northwest arcade show, pinball and arcade show in 2008. That was kind of my first big one. Actually, it might have been 2006. Oh, 2006, there was a smaller version of it, and they had a tournament, but it was kind of before IFPA certified tournaments were a thing. I think it might have technically been IFPA certified, but only the people who made finals got included in the rankings, so it's not on my IFPA thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a wild time. It was 2006. I think Pirates of the Caribbean had just came out. I was super excited. I'm like, whoa, look at this cool new pinball machine. It has like 34 shades of orange in the D&D. I played in that tournament, but it was just a simple, like, you played Attack from Mars and Elvis, and the top 12 scores made finals, and that was it. But the real big tournament was in 2008, and that was the Northwest Championships, which then turned into the full, like, 7-game unlimited qualifying with finals, and that was my first tournament. I think it's actually my first on my IFPA card as well, because they asked if I wanted to play in the Open or the Novice, and I said, well, I want the ranking points. I want to be an Open.
That's awesome. So you've seen kind of the whole evolution of, IFPA's early days and the competitive scene really blossom. Was Washington still one of the biggest competitive scenes back when you were first starting up there? Because I know now it's absolutely huge. I don't know how it was back then.
Yeah, when I first started, like I said, it was only a couple events a year, and they were in bars. Like the Shorties annual tournament was in a bar, so I couldn't go to that. And then the Northwest Pinball Championships was the one I could go to, and that was kind of it. Like, you had to wait the whole year before you did anything. But then yeah, pinball kind of started exploding, and pretty soon there was more and more tournaments, more and more locations. Kind of kept growing.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Terminator 2 is you're right, it's such a good one to learn on. Every time I see it in a tournament, I feel hopeful about it, but also dread, because I know there are very certain things you have to do, and you've got to dial in that lock shot up the middle, and it's not always a easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's kind of all or nothing a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I always thought, whenever I see people like going to the side of the pin, looking at the cannon on where it's going to hit, like on AC/DC 2, I'm like, man, I got to really learn how to dial that head angle in E2 as well.
Yeah, there was also Dracula was one of my early games. I bought it, so it was used as a tournament game in 2009 at the Northwest Championships, and then ended up buying it. And so that was another game I had early on that kind of kicked your butt and kind of forced you to learn how to do things.
Yeah, Dracula's amazing.
And so I kept kind of cycling through games. I guess the first game we got for the home was Black Rose. That was from the Red Robin that I actually played it growing up when I was a kid. And that was cool because we were going to buy one online, but it arrived and it had shipping damage. The glass was completely shattered over the entire play field, so we had to send it back. But luckily, my dad just called. He's like, hey, can we just buy your Black Rose, the one that you have in like Red Robin? And they're like, sure, why not? So we got the one that we actually kind of grew up playing.
That's awesome. Cool. Is that why you have a soft spot for Black Rose? I know you mentioned it in your Discord.
Yeah, I mean, it was like my first game, so I went all in on that. I read up all the rules and played it a bunch, and I think it's a great game.
How many pins do you have now?
I've been selling and trading and stuff. It's always kind of in flux.
Yeah.
Right now, I just have a James Bond, a Jaws, and a Doodlebug. And actually, back home in Washington, I have a Dirty Harry. But I've had a lot more. I've just been kind of selling them as, when I moved here, I had to sell a bunch of games, and I kind of just rotate games here, and I just have a small apartment, so I can only hold like 2 at a time.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when you obviously you're in college working, or get out, work, find a job, and then you get the job with Stern. So Stern was clearly the catalyst for moving from the West Coast to Chicago. What were your thoughts about, making that big move and making this your career? Excited, nervous? What was going through your head in making pinball an even bigger part of your life?
Yeah, I mean, it was all of those things. I was excited, but I was also nervous. I thought, if this works out, this is kind of a dream scenario where I get to do programming, but it's for pinball machines, because I always kind of just worked to make money so that I could go do pinball things. And now it's like I get to be in pinball to make money to do pinball things.
Yeah. You can't ask for more than that. So on the competitive side, as the scene grew and you're seeing more opportunities to play, have you seen it kind of grow to where you thought it would, and as a good thing, or are there places where you think competitive pinball can still grow? Or based on what you saw in the early days, are you happy with the progression it's made? And
yeah, I think it's great that there's just like an infinite supply of local kind of weeklies.
Yeah.
Depending on the area you're in, but most metro areas have any day of the week you can find a pinball tournament. And then the proliferation of these big events means every weekend there's a big event. Yeah. It kind of makes it's a little overwhelming, honestly, but it kind of, I feel like depending on where you're at in your journey, it's kind of clear which ones you want to prioritize. Once you're in the top 10 of IFPA, you kind of need to go to the certified plus 3-day, long, big tournaments in order to make any ground. But if you're just starting out, going to your local show or your local, bar that's having a monthly or something, there's just so many opportunities.
Yeah, it was funny. As I was preparing for this episode, seeing all the stuff we've missed in, it's only been 2 months, but there's literally every week there's like a giant Whopper opportunity event going on. Whopper Chopper. You've got PinMasters going on.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the rest of this episode. it's probably going to be pretty long, huh?
I told Joe, I said, maybe this episode we don't list off like the top people, we just say who won, because there's so many going on. But honestly, I feel like maybe this is the one hobby that I've seen where too much isn't always a bad thing here. I love the excess, because coming from the COVID days where a lot of people got in and interested and entered into the hobby, it was basically District 82. And if you wanted real points, you had to go there and, some other decent events. But now it seems like the spread of available Whoppers like you would get at District 82 with 4 tournaments on a week or weekend is now available to the masses. And I think that's a great thing. One, because it's really hard to get to District 82 if you're not local, like you're in Chicago. You can drive, you got to fly into one of the airports. So I think it's a good thing. That's a good look into your competitive sort of history and going into it. Do you have, I guess, not within the last 5 years, but do you have a first tournament that you won that really sticks out, one that you remember, like, yeah, this is a memory I can always go back and look on and say, I really enjoyed my time there? Is it one from Washington, maybe in, one in the 2010s?
Well, I mean, I didn't win. I got second to Keith Elwin, but that first, or second or third, I think maybe the third, Northwest Pinball Championships in 2010, that was... I got second, and I got this big brick of cash. It was like $2,000, and I was just like, "Holy crap, this is like crazy!" And I used that to fund my trip to Papa. For the first time going to Papa, I used that money. I spent all of it trying to qualify. Did not qualify. It was kind of a disaster, but I didn't give up. I ended up going back the next year, and then I kept qualifying ever since. But that first, top 2 finish at Northwest Championships kind of kickstarted everything. And then that kind of culminated in the when I won first place in IFPA Worlds in Denmark in 2015, I think 2016. And that was against Kaylee in a best of 9, and Kaylee was kind of the person that got me into the pinball in Washington. He was the guy running Northwest Championships. He was the guy I kind of looked up to, helped me practice. So then, facing the final boss in Denmark 10 years later or whatever, it was pretty cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, I was going to ask, I know you've played with a lot of these guys and now you work with Keith. Do you guys ever, I'm not saying that you sit around a campfire and share stories, but do you ever you're talking to him, you're like, oh, I remember that back then. And when I came second to you, do you ever share war stories still? Or are you just like, all right, let's get through the day. Let's get all our job done and we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, not too much these days now. I think we've kind of, there was a time where I would be in the final 4 with Keith so often and always finish, below him. He started calling me his wingman,
I mean, that's not a bad place to be. At least you're always in the mix. I'm learning that now if I don't qualify for like the playoffs or finals, I'm like, I could have been resting today. I didn't need to come out. So it's one of those things I got to learn to control my emotions about it. Joe, did you want to ask a few questions and I'll continue?
Yeah. No, it's funny you mentioned Kaylee's name. I feel like he's been such a staying force in pinball, and mentioning him running stuff in Seattle and, being a kind of a mentor. I feel like I've seen that as recently as like Papa this year, even in disc, he's like still kind of teaching these younger players, how to play and, his kind of secret strategies and stuff. So that's really cool that you mentioned his name.
Yeah, he's still fierce to ever have to go against in a competition, especially on any Bally Williams. You're probably in trouble.
Yeah. So Ray, would you say that you have a goal for yourself this year?
Not really, no. I'm kind of just enjoying the ride at this point.
Nice. Do you have any like pregame rituals or meals that you do before you play?
No, I probably should have something because I do feel like sometimes I jump in and I'm doing good, and other times I have a really slow start. I don't know. I need to get better about getting in the zone. I think I feel like a lot of my, it's like a momentum is what a lot of people call it. You get pinball momentum. And once you have that, you don't want to let go of it.
Yeah. Let's see. How would you say that you handle kind of pressure and nerves? Like, would you say that there's added pressure to defend a title that you already have, or do you think that helps you kind of fuel yourself to play better, knowing that you've already been there before?
Yeah, it helps because if you're ever in a chance to defend a title, it means you're doing well and you're in the finals. So I always feel good when I'm in the finals. Even if it's against Escher and Jason, at least I'm in the finals and I have a chance, and I can make something happen every once in a while. Nice,
cool. And how often would you say that you play for fun or just for practice? Or like when you started working at Stern, would you say that affected how often that you play?
I don't think it affected it one way or the other. I'll play my games here every once in a while, especially if I get a new game. I'll play that a whole bunch, or to do my insider quests or whatnot. But I don't play a ton. It's mostly just in the competitions themselves. But every once in a while, I'll go to an arcade and flip around, or if I want to learn a new game, gotta get some experience on it a little bit, so I'm not totally blind. Although I don't go into them as deep as other people haven't. The Travis Murray party tricks he calls them. I just like to know the basics of where's the multi-ball, and just kind of roll with it. And it sometimes somehow works for me. I want to say, like at Papa. I didn't really know Jaws that well. I just kind of knew the basics, and I just kind of flipped and played it, and I happened to get more points than the people that were like, surgically extracting every piece of value and machetes and whatnot. But I've gotten better at learning those things. And I think the key is just ask questions, right? Ask the people that know. Like, hey, how did you get that big points thing? Like, what did you do?
That's a good transition to. I was going to ask you, what's the best piece of advice you could say you've received about competitive pinball, or maybe just pinball in general, if you can think of one? I know you've probably been given lots of advice over the years.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I think the pinball momentum is big. Take responsibility for your drains is big.
Yeah.
There's usually something you could have done different. Just try to learn from things going wrong. What I like to tell people is always have a plan, have a goal. Even if it's just start a multi-ball or start a mode. Or if it's, I'm down by 1 billion, I need to get to this wizard mode, have some plan, or else, you probably won't.
So if you're trailing, do you have like a go-to strategy to make that comeback, or you just, obviously a lot of it is pin specific, what's going to maximize points per second, basically. Do you generally look for the safer shot, or are you trying to risk it for maybe the mode?
Well, it depends on sometimes I'll have these games where I feel like I just don't do anything, like balls 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then in those situations, it's like, okay, I just want to start my multi-ball so I can get comfy, and then we'll see what happens. So I don't really have a full plan at that point, but I have the plan of like just start the multi-ball, and then reevaluate once that's over. But other times, if things are going good, but the other person they're just going better, I usually have a pretty good map in my head. When I'm done with a ball, I'm like, okay, well, at least I still have these opportunities available to me. So then next ball, I'll try to go for those.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I generally do a prayer to the pinball gods when I'm at that point. I'm like, please just let me start New Orleans on Foo Fighters so I can hit a couple purple shots and pray for that. No. What do you think about, since you've been in the scene for a good amount of time, what do you think of PinMasters as a format, sort of the golf approach, as opposed to traditional match play or a card format?
I think it's fun in theory, but very aggravating in practice. It's so annoying knowing that you can just totally blow up like horrifically. Like normally getting a last is bad enough, you get 0 points out of 4, but now it's like almost double or triple that, because you get 10 points instead of 3 or whatever. So I'm not a fan of that aspect of it, but it's a fun style. I like how it's different, and it feels really good when you you turn that potential 10 into a 5. Like that feels good. Even though you didn't have that good of a game, you did what you needed to do to not have a total disaster. So that part's really cool.
Do you think it's tougher to play against yourself or other players?
I feel like it's kind of the same. You're always playing the machine.
Yeah.
So you're always trying to do good on that machine. The other players are usually not too relevant, but sometimes, it can come into play. But more often than not, you're just trying to blow the machine up.
Yeah, that's a good answer. So kind of switching gears for a question related to your current employer. You work at Stern. Everybody knows that you've worked on a lot of great games. You've done some coding for some recent hit titles. If you were to tell somebody, this is the pin that embodies what I'm about in pinball, like this is the code I've worked on, this is what I really am not happy to put out, but this is kind of what I was looking for, which pin would it be, like where you've had a significant portion of where you've worked on the code for a significant portion? Like Foo Fighters, you obviously helped Jack get that to a really good place. Metallica Remastered recently, you helped on Avengers. Led Zeppelin. Is there a pin that you would, like one pin where you would say, hey, I really want you to play this? Not that I'm the proudest, but this sort of embodies who I am in pinball.
I mean, I really liked how Foo Fighters turned out.
Yeah.
And Rush, I think, was really good. I think both of those kind of have a lot of my signatures of sort of, wanting you to hit different shots and having different perks and boosts and things, but I never want it to be overcomplicated. I just want it to be like, I want a reason for everything. I'll never, I'll try not to anyway. I can't promise anything, but I'd hate to have a game where you're in a mode and there's no reason to be playing that mode, right? So I really try to make it so, like on Rush, the modes weren't timed, so you can't time them out, so you might as well try to beat them because that's what you want to do. Foo Fighters, sure the modes are timed, but you have to beat them to get to the wizard modes, so timing them out doesn't really help you there. And just like, when you get to a multi-ball, like on Foo Fighters, if you get the super jackpot and Overlord, that helps you get to Foobot. You have the upgraded Foobot parts, so if you do really good in like Sonic Radio, then your right orbit is double for the rest of the game. Like I love making sure you have a reason to do whatever thing you're in. So my favorite rule sheets of all time are like Iron Maiden, where there's the 10 tomb treasures and you have to basically, everything's important. When you're in a mode, you need to beat it. When you're in a multi-ball, you need to get the super. Although I like to have a little more leeway, like Iron Maiden only has one leeway, which is the 6-way combo. Otherwise, you have to do all 10 things. I usually like maybe 10 out of 12, 10 out of 14. Avengers, you need 24 trophies, but there's 32 that you can get. Metallica is a little harder. There's 12 Unforgiven tasks, and you need 10 of them. That's kind of my jam. I like that sort of thing.
That's awesome. So is there like a mode you're super proud of, like 72 seasons? Something new that you think you introduced, not novel to the scene, but something that you were kind of proud of, like like Combotron is an amazing mode on Foo Fighters. I love it because of the auditory cues that sort of escalate as you're increasing the combos. Is there one that you can point to maybe recently, or that you always look back and say, yeah, I really crushed it there?
Combotron was really fun to work on. And I like the Cygnus Book 1 and Rush, where you're going through the different planets and trying to escape the black hole. I think, and the music that lines up with it really well. It just feels very intense. So that wizard mode is really fun. And then also the Foo final battle was really fun to work on too.
I think I was like 2 shots away still, and then they moved the pin on location somewhere else. I'm like, I was so close.
You just gotta pick yourself up a cheap premium.
Yeah, no, the pricing now is great, and that is one I always go back to. And it's funny because I remember playing the Pro, and I was like, okay, my Area 51's a little different. I have to dial in that right ramp. Versus, maybe getting some shots spotted up top on the upper playfield. It was a blast. Like I'm super happy with the time that I did get to play it. But like you said, with pricing now, you can pick some of these titles up at a great cost now. So, and
you should probably, I don't think it's always going to be that way because it's in the vaults. So
yeah,
eventually they'll run out. People start keeping them.
They're not going to always run these. So folks, if you are looking at ones that aren't being produced at a constant rate, you might want to go pick these, especially Foo Fighters. And I know Rush is a darling amongst its owners. And
I think Rush has already started kind of on the upswing. I haven't heard it ever being, mentioned in Josh's market trends or whatever. It seems like that one's been kind of a sleeper hit. I feel like people are starting to appreciate Rush more and more.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you can see it. I always look at the LE pricing as a good barometer, and if it stays above 10K, that means it's holding its value very, very well. And I just saw one got listed for 10K down in Florida, so it's always an option.
Florida's also like always $1,000 or $1,500 less than everything.
Yeah, that Florida is like this haven of like great pricing, but it's because it's in the middle of nowhere where you have to buy it and travel down. They're like, oh, we got freight shipping, $450 to you. Well, yeah, of course, I'm not driving down there. So, Joe, do you have any other questions before we get into PinMasters?
I don't think so, man. Let's do it.
Awesome. Thank you again, Ray. Appreciate the time for taking your time to answer those. Hopefully we got some people out there will listen, get some good nuggets, and maybe get some good advice. And for now, we're going to move on to the 2025 PinMasters held at the Rochester Pinball Collective up in Rochester, New York. I hope so. Otherwise, I'm screwed there.
Technically East Rochester, New York, but yes.
Okay. The beautiful RPC, as Bruce and Ron call it on the Slam Tilt podcast. They hosted the is it the 2024 IFPA NACS because it's last year's championship?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and then they also hosted PinMasters, which has a top prize of a new in-box Stern Pro machine, some great cash, and a great trophy. And we are going to go over this tournament with Ray for good reason. So let me move this over right here. So here is the video that is playing, and it's just going. Hold on, let me turn that off. So PinMasters format. Before I move on to that, I do want to give a shout out to Backhand Pinball on Twitch and YouTube. We are using their footage of the stream from the 2025 PinMasters. Please make sure you go give them a follow, a subscribe on YouTube, hit some likes, do all the things that will help boost their social media presence and SEO. Thank you so much, Backhand Pinball, for getting up there and putting on amazing tournament content. It's not easy. You see guys like Carl at IE Pinball, Fox Cities, Carpool Pinball here, Backhand, Geek Gamer TV, all the people that put on tournament pinball. It's not easy at all, and they're spending a lot of time and money, so we thank them. So with PinMasters, Joe, you want to explain sort of how it works, and then we'll get it started on the first game.
Yeah, we can do a quick overview. So there's a course of 9 holes. I believe all of the holes on PinMasters are score-based objectives. Sometimes in Pin Golf, I know you can do like an objective instead of a score, but these are all score-based. It looks like, I believe Jason picked the games for the group here as the highest seed. So he picked holes 1 through 4. So there are 4 holes total that the 4 finalists played. And, golf scoring, so lowest scores here will kind of get you through to the finish.
Yep. So, Ray, how was qualifying for PinMasters? Did you see anything there that you kind of thought would help you in the finals when you made it, or were you just happy to be in the finals and just get it started and go?
Yeah, I didn't. Nothing really seemed super comfortable, but I did end up settling because I don't think I had any buys, but I had tops, or maybe I had a buy because I got to choose the games twice. So I must have been like 5th seed or something, or 4th seed. Because I had, it was Monopoly, Foo Fighters, and what was the it might have been like Little Chief or one of the safer EMs. And those 3 worked pretty good for me, so I just kept picking them.
Were there any surprises as far as pins you've never played, or had you, since you've been playing for a while, you've seen kind of everything and anything there?
Yeah, I mean, I nothing was too crazy. I don't think.
All right, no bones about it. If you've kind of seen everything there, it's really hard to find out. Like, you didn't see a joust. PinMasters. But first game we have up, Jason picked bank, was Countdown.
I was not excited. I suck at Countdown. It kills me like every time, and you can watch my first 2 balls. I don't even think I touched the ball, and I'm just like, yep, that's what I knew was going to happen.
Yeah, as we go through the notes, you can pull up the outline if you'd like, and you'll see my notes on your first few balls are, well, that was a quick one. But Countdown, you can see on the screen right here, there's drop target banks, and essentially once you clear those, you're awarded a multiplier for your bonus, and then the drops are worth 5,000 each once the light is turned on after you clear it. Is that correct? And it advances your bonus?
Yeah, it's kind of devious because you want to hit those green ones first because you have to hit them in order, right? That's the 2x.
Yep.
But the green ones are so deadly because they come in at that side angle, which the center post doesn't help.
Yeah.
And so it's really a dangerous game to get going on because the stuff you need to hit first is the most dangerous.
Yeah, and they were saying on the booth, you can knock down the other. So it goes green, yellow on the top right, red bottom left, blue bottom right. So 2, 3, 4, 5X. And then you can knock down the other target banks, but it won't count until you've knocked down its predecessor in order. So if you hit if you hit all the yellows, you won't get your 3X until you've cleared that green target bank of drops. And what's funny is everyone was saying during the announcement, they're like, is he going to backhand? Because that rightmost drop for the green bank was just death for everybody. They couldn't really get a handle on it. I saw somebody hit it from the right flipper, but if you're trying to backhand it from the left, it's nuts. And just like Ray said, a lot of the feeds were coming sort of to the side of the center post. So you really weren't trusting anything because it was slipping through at the time. So the max multiplier is 5X. The bonus value, I think, is 20K. And we had targets.
If you get 5X, you got the target.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So your target score here was 150,000. And for 6 strokes, it was 120 to 149, 7, 90,000 to 119. 8 strokes was 60 to 89, 9 strokes, 30 to 59, and then 10 strokes, 0 to 2990. So really, with the bonuses, unless you got 5 house balls, you should probably get better than a 10 here. But knowing me, I'd probably get that 10. So did you play this a lot during qualifying in the playoffs or no?
I mean, I just played it once in qualifying, got like a 7 on it or something horrible. Like, yeah, I was not looking forward to it.
Yeah, this was, again, as Joe mentioned, Jason's pick. So ball 1, I'll just kind of go through it and we'll remind Ray of the stuff that happened here. Zoller had a good ball 1. Again, the target score, 150,000. So he ended up clearing his first set of green drops to get that 2X. And by the time and they played this 2 players. Was that because of a tilt through, or do you remember?
They always, the solid states, they like to do 2 players.
Okay.
So that you don't tilt through.
Yeah, so here you can see on the footage, Zoller was rolling on this. He did win the 2024 IFPA NACS this weekend, so he was already.
That is the benefit of playing in the NACS is that you get practice on all the PinMasters games. I was there, but I could not play because ZMAC won Illinois, and he decided to show up. But he didn't play in PinMasters, so I thank him for that. That's a good compromise. Yeah. If he's going to win Illinois for me, stay out of PinMasters. Good compromise. Good guy, ZMAC.
I remember you were asking in the Discord, like, "Hey, I heard he's not coming. Is that true? Because I'm here. I could take his spot." But yeah, so Ray's exactly right. You're getting practice during NACS on these machines. But Zoller, you can see from the footage there, he was 1 red drop away from clearing his target score. I think he got a really, really solid multiplier. He ended up with 136,000. Colin McAlpine steps up, and you can see the footage right here. He's going for that green drop target, and he's at about 12,000. He has a boom right there. Falls right through this little slip. Do you have any tips or thoughts on Countdown that you would want to share while we look at this footage before we get to you?
No, I wish I did. I mean, you can ignore the multipliers and just shoot like the lower banks for 5,000 a hit, but I don't know if that's getting you anywhere.
Yeah, I haven't seen this in a lot of competitions. I kind of like what I see, but I also, that's looking from afar, so maybe the grass isn't always greener and I get to it and I'm like,
oh, actually look at it. Jason is actually, I guess because he knew he only needed anything, so he was shooting the lower targets.
Yeah.
See, he has progress on those lower targets just because he wanted anything.
Exactly. He was so close. He was 14K away. So by his ball 2, he got the final 20K, finished with the 2. Good way to start off. Again, 10 strokes is the max. And he initially gets on the scorecard with the 2. So Colin steps up again, players 1 and 3 only. So Zoller and Colin were going first, and then Nick and Ray would go. And Colin ends up here with, on his ball 2, just another bad angle on the center post. You can see him plunging off there, and he only gets, so ball 1, he's got 23,000. By ball 2, he's got 36,000. So we'll fast forward the footage a little. Eventually on his ball 3, he finally got to flip and clear out those drops on ball 3 for the 2X. Cleared out the 3X on the right, but immediately after he did that, I think it's coming up right here, he just, it's almost like I see this a lot in pinball where you've started something or you've done something and you just want to get control, and then something happens and you're like, great, there goes the ball. You don't even get a chance to do the magic. Joe, have you ever played Countdown?
I don't know that I've ever seen it in person before, but I mean, I like the rules. I know we're talking about the bonus advance, very similar to like, Sinbad or Joker Poker, where you have to clear those banks before, in sequence before you get that bonus X.
So he's deciding whether to go for, so he went for the 3X, he missed, and I don't think he gets the ball back.
He's gonna, so he gets a couple good bounces. And like on his, is this his 2 or 3? I think this is his 4. So yeah, he's at about 122, and it got squirrely at the end, but it got a little squirrely, but he didn't tilt, and he was like, okay, I got enough in bonus, and it was right there. But yeah, so Colin finishes with 4, and so then we have Nick Mueller. You've played against him before, right?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah,
I played with him I think he was at Papa. He was in my group during the Classics, maybe Classics, or I think so. But he was another state winner, I believe. They were saying on the announce booth. I forgot where he was. Like,
I think probably Louisiana.
Okay.
Or maybe not Florida, but one of those southern states.
Nice. Okay, so we're going to watch Nick play, but there is one thing I wanted to show. So on his ball 1, he makes a great save, so we're going to let that play for a second.
It's working.
Let's see if it pops up.
Ooh.
There's a quick little tip. It's hard to, the replay is really good because it goes so fast, but it basically comes screaming down from the center pop, and he just like flicks it. Unfortunately, I wish I could have put that in slow motion. I know they do the replay, but he has to drain. So that center post was friendly to some and not friendly to others. But he did max out his bonus on ball 1.
Yeah, it looks like he was going lower targets until he got 20K, and then he switched to upper targets.
Yeah, I see that red is, so every drop is 5,000 once you've cleared it. Yeah, there he is. He had a really good ball 1 right there. And I think they're going to replay and watch it count down. He only got the 2X, but he, like you said, he was hitting those drops. And I know some people say that's kind of, there it is. Here's the replay.
146. Go green? Yeah.
It goes in, comes, and then center. Right now. Boop.
Yeah.
Just a little tip over to the right. So
great vision.
Here comes Ray.
Look at that nice flipper delivery on the practice plunge, of course.
I know. And that is
super skill shot.
He should just bump it off.
You were nailing the Joe plunges.
Yeah, this is.
That's what I wanted to.
Flip, right?
Go ahead.
The other day.
I didn't even get any points either.
I wanted to highlight this because this reminded me of the Avengers movie where Thanos is like, everything's perfectly balanced. Because you even tried to give it a nudge and move it over, but it wouldn't move. And here comes Josh to the rescue. But
I didn't want to tilt through on a game that you're plunging 2 and 4. That would be embarrassing.
Exactly. So your ball 1, you cleared out the yellow drops immediately, but you didn't get to the 2X to activate that 3X. So do you remember anything about ball 1, or you just like you ended up with 17,000?
Yeah, it wasn't good. I think it outlaned. I think it just kept finding the outlane, which is so rare on this game.
Yeah, you had a shot to the pops, and then it went straight down the middle without hitting that center post on your first ball. So.
Look at that! I cleared all 3 of those all the yellows in one. Yeah, look at that.
And then right
Now
here, it comes right there.
How does that not bounce back up? It was so straight down the middle.
Literally, you said the same thing in the video too. You're like, how does that?
And how was it going like 100 miles an hour? Like that whole ball, the ball was just... I was hitting what I wanted to, too. That's just crazy.
No, if you're going to clear a bank, it's not bad to clear the yellows, because I think if you're able to do that and then get the greens, you've got your 2 and 3 right there. So
I was impressed. I cleared it with 2 mini flips. I got all 4 yellows.
Yeah, so your ball 1, you end up with 17,000. Again, target score 150,000. Nick is on his ball 2, and he gets a little tip flip. Yeah, he screwed up right there. He drains out quickly on the left out lane. So he only gets 14,000 on his ball 2. So he was close. He was 40-something thousand away. And then unfortunately makes a little bit of a flipper error. And then we watch you here plunge again to the... Let's see, is it going to do it? I thought it was. But you have here a ricochet to the left out lane. I think it's unfortunately quick here, but don't worry, folks. We have right there.
I managed to not hit like anything. Yeah, I don't understand.
Don't worry, folks. This story has a good ending. I promise. This is not the way to begin it, but that's these older titles. I think when we're talking about pinball advice, I've heard the Lefkoff say, and a bunch of other people say, if you get a house ball, you get a house ball. Can't really do anything about it. Just move on.
Did you see that house ball?
Yeah.
I mean, he Joe plunged it, and it didn't. It went straight down the middle.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing with this one. But you have to kind of just pick yourself up, however you can. So this is his ball 3, and he clears his yellows, gets some 5Ks, and I think when you were saying the strategy in the beginning of how he was going for the drops, I think he was just so close here that he's like, I just got to get the points wherever I can and not try to get cute. But yeah, so with his ball 3, Nick clears the target score. So now it's going to be 2, 3, 4, because Colin got his in 4, and then Ray, we'll get to you right now, and you are on your ball 4 right here with 33,000. You picked off your last green drop here nicely. You can already see the 2X is activated. You do get the 3X. There's 1. And then eventually, there it is, the ricochet off the pops.
That was sweet.
Yeah, it was a nice one.
Yeah.
You get an amazing center post rebound. You were 1 drop away here from the 4X. You see on the left, you have 1 red sort of near the top.
I think the red is... Oh, the red is 4X?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
did that not go down? Oh!
That was
How did I save that?
Yeah, that was a nice center post save. It was a diagonal center post save. So the great thing about this is they did do a replay of it. So let's watch it. Once it counts down, they do the replay, and here's the audio.
So close.
I must have screwed that up. I guess I didn't realize that red was next in line.
Yeah, red was on the bottom left for your 4X.
And I just needed that 1 target?
Yep.
You think?
Okay.
Here's your save again coming up.
Yeah, I didn't realize that red was next. I thought, for some reason, I didn't realize that 1 target would have got me the score.
Hey, you learned something here on Wizards and Warriors. Just kidding.
Yeah.
When I was watching the replay, I was half expecting you to backhand it when it was like rolling up the left flipper.
I think I was just so focused on the bright green circle on the top left that was worth 5,000 a hit, because I knew I just needed. Look, I needed 2 more targets, right? 2 more 5,000.
Yeah.
But I think that 1 red might have given me another. Well, it would have been close. It might not have.
You would have got the 4-stroke, according to the announcers, and I think the way it added up, if you had hit that red drop, it would have given you a 4X, and you would have got your 150. You had 139 by the end of ball 4, and I think your bonus was more than 11K at that point. So you definitely would have cleared it. But hey, now you know it's on the bottom left. You had a screamer straight down the middle on ball 4, and then right there you finish with the 5-stroke. With a quick 11K to get to the target score. Any thoughts on Countdown and what it gave you there?
Yeah, I guess just pay attention to your X's. For some reason I always thought red was last, but I guess it's third. So you're gonna go in order. But I guess like if you have one target left, you almost should just go for it no matter what. Just get it out of the way, and then it resets the bank for 5,000s. So it's good either way.
Yeah, especially if it's the one, right after, if you haven't hit the preceding one. If you've got the 4x down, you really want to get the 2x, but you're not going for the 3x right away. So
right, yeah, exactly.
Unless they're next to each other, then it doesn't make sense. But yeah, here's the scoring on the current for the PinMasters scorecard. Again, it's golf-based stroke format. I will remind everybody this podcast is in audio and video form. I would strongly recommend, especially for our interview and also seeing a lot of the footage that we watch, that you go check out the video format on my YouTube page at FriscoPinball. You can always email us at wizardsandwarriorspodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions or if you want to know where to get all this footage and where to see it. So that's game one, 4 games. The next game in the bank was World Cup Soccer. I love this pin. I think it's one of the best.
I do kind of like how there's 4 games per round. It seems like all tournaments there are usually only 3 games per round, right?
Is that normally what you've seen for like golf-based stroke formats with just 3, or is this this sort of
golf? I've seen both. I've seen 3. I've seen 4. But pop-up format is always 3.
Yeah. Yeah, very true.
Pinburg is 4.
Yeah, I think I just played in one that was. Oh no, we were doing 2 game banks and then the playoffs were 3. I always like when they increase it by a game, and give me a little more action to play, and I don't feel like I'm getting knocked out right away. So World Cup Soccer, a darling of the tournament scene. I understand why. Joe, your thoughts on World Cup Soccer?
Yeah, it's a great game. From the commentary and from what people were kind of saying in the game, it looks like the soccer ball was just juiced.
Yeah.
It's like super
and it's
fast.
going backwards too, yeah.
And it's going backwards, yeah. So it was like putting some crazy spin on the ball and making it super chaotic. Yeah.
Yeah, it apparently had one of the Infinity Stones powering it with quantum energy. It was just shooting everything everywhere. How did it play, Ray, when you were there? Do you remember anything special about it?
I'd actually, it played pretty fair, yeah. Just, you could hit the shots, and, it was always dangerous traveling around the left orbit like that. And then missing the goal was scary because of the soccer ball. But if you could just focus on locking your balls, hitting a couple jackpots, getting cities in multi-ball is actually pretty good, because then you don't have to worry about the feed killing you. And since you only needed 500 million, just kind of surviving was kind of the name of the game.
Could you give us
don't tilt?
Yeah, especially that bonus is huge. If you're hitting some of those awards. Would you like to give us a quick sort of primer on how to play World Cup Soccer? Things you were looking for to get to that 500 million target score?
Yeah, I mean, you just hit the lit white shots that are the build your 5 S's: strength, skill, speed, stamina, strength, and you get all S's, and then that lights lock. Hit the scoop to start multi-ball, and then in multi-ball you hit the goal and then the ramp to relight the goal, and you can relight the goal with the cheat button once per multi-ball. But yeah, if you get to multi-ball, you're probably going to have at least 350. And then it's a question of how do you get that extra 150, and you can get it from some ultra modes, which you start by getting regular goals outside of multi-ball, or you can travel, which you get by hitting the top lanes in the left orbit, or the ramps. So usually as you're hitting those white shots to build your S's, you're also lighting your traveling. That's why it's actually better if you can alternate the ramps, hit left ramp, maybe like left ramp twice, then right ramp, then striker, then left ramp is kind of the perfect way to start a game of World Cup. And I actually might start off that way on this game. I think I might. I can't remember. Yeah. I don't know if I sync. I probably don't start the multi-ball, but I think maybe that was a different game. But that's like the best feeling ever, where you plunge and you literally don't miss a shot. You just go like ramp, 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 scoop, scoop, ramp, ramp, and you're like multi-ball.
Yeah,
there was a sequence. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
There was a sequence when you went ramp, ramp, and then I think it was like Striker Awards, and it was like pretty nice to watch. Just very, very smooth.
Yeah, your first ball was not that, but we'll get to we'll get to your good ball.
Okay, yeah, first ball. I think first ball I missed. I just brick drained. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So here the target score, as you can see on the screen, is 500 million to make par, so to speak. 6 strokes was between 400 and 499. 7, 300 to 399. 8, 200 to 299. 9, 100 million to 199. 10 strokes, 0 to 99 million. Again, 5-ball game. The bonus can get pretty nice. So if I'm playing this and I'm, it's me, I'm probably hoping I don't get worse than a 5, just because of the multi-ball with, you get the first goal and then you get the cheat button, so you don't have to hit the ramp to activate the next country to beat. So you should have about 50 million there in jackpots plus whatever else you've hit along the way.
Yeah, I mean, you can also start the TV mode, which is good points. It's just kind of hard because you got to hit that scoop. It looks like lighting a kickback off the bat is, because it looks like it starts off on this one, which seems kind of brutal.
Yeah, and how do you get your kickback?
You have to hit that little kickback target on the left after rolling over the right in lane.
And what does your left in lane award? Is that your TV award or no?
The left in lane lights the right target to relight your Magna save down the middle.
Gotcha. Okay. And then the TV award, the strike award, is based on how many goals you've hit?
Yeah, every 4 goals it lights the TV mode. It looks like the TV mode starts lit though.
Yeah. So Colin chose to go first here. He had an unfortunate in-lane bounce to the right out lane. He ends up with 18 million. Zoller is up next. He has a quick ball. He gets a fast drain on the left out lane. And to recap right now, after game 1, Zoller is in the lead with 2 strokes, then Nick with 3, Colin with 4, and Ray at 5 strokes on from their first game of Countdown. So now we're on to World Cup Soccer, game 2. And you can see those striker awards. One of them is, I don't know what's that, the ABC mode where it's 15, 15.
This is a TV mode.
Yeah.
He landed in the scoop, and I want to, the back door killed him. I guess they have that ball save turned off. Normally if it backdoors, you get it back.
Was there anything different with that left out lane? Did they open it up somehow? They were mentioning it on the announce booth. I don't know if
well, normally if it falls through the exit, you get the ball back, but they have that turned off.
Yeah, so here, again, amazing players, just not able to find a good start. But Nick...
It was also interesting watching Jason's decisions there. He shot the left ramp and then held up the left flipper instead of trying a striker or a ramp shot. So he likes key passing to get control. And it's interesting Colin chose to go first. I think that's so that he gets more skill shots, because if someone else locks a ball, then you don't get a skill shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, if they lock a ball and don't start multi-ball, so it's of... Yeah. Okay. So, like, Nick locked a ball here, and now if he drains, the ball will still be there for me, which means when I lock a ball, I don't get a skill shot.
Gotcha, yeah. So he had a really good start. He got his 30 million penalty shot, hit both ramps to start, and as you see right here, he takes his first shot, and it's really hard for most people to aim and get it right in that scoop, but here he goes right there, starts his multi-ball, which is, again, getting it into the goalie for the first shot, then hitting a ramp to activate the next country to beat, and then your jackpots are, again, at the goal. So he had 2 jackpots, but then his multi-ball drains out. He defeated Morocco, and I think he gets Austria too. No, the goalie is insane here. Yeah.
And then he fumbled it, and then...
Yep. So he ends with about... he gets
last second jackpot.
Yeah, he got a last second one. So he was about 209 million. So almost halfway, just off that one multi-ball. So here he shoots the left orbit coming up, and it's going to unfortunately drain to the left out lane after his ramp shot. But his ball 1 ends up with about 263 million. I know we're waiting for the feed right here. He does the ski pass. I saw a lot of people doing the ski pass and bump over. Was that the move to get it under control on the left?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
He misses the orbit and then drains down the death hole. But, it was kind of a well-deserved drain, right? Because it came from a miss. So it's not like And I guess that's what they're doing when they turn off those ball saves, is just more ways to punish you when you mess up.
Yeah, if it's one thing to get, maybe a bad rebound or something, but when it's your own brick shot, that's when you take accountability. So here comes Ray. He's stepping.
I wanted that kickback, but I missed it. Oh, I get it off the sling. I get a goal, and now I start super ultra jets. Oh, I missed this spinner so badly. Yeah. Woo!
You got your ramp.
This is where I die right here. Oh no.
No.
I think
you're ripping shots. You got to your striker, and then you got your penalty kick coming up, and you'll get the.
This might be where I die in the orbit.
Right there.
Yeah. And that's why you ski pass.
Yeah.
See, I didn't learn from my other players. It's just so risky taking a shot when the ball's moving because the timing is a little bit different. And you saw that when I missed, I died. Whereas if I would have ski passed, at least I would have had the ball stopped, and I could have had a better chance at a timed shot. But I risked it. I'm a risky player, I guess.
Living on the edge, yeah. So that's the thing with this one. It's great to know that little info about the ball save, but everything that was going out the left was just death because people weren't getting some of the grace that they've normally been given in the past. So Colin steps up for his ball too, but he ramps out here for the most part. He does get a rebound.
Oh! God.
Yeah. He's
got that right out lane on lockdown.
Yeah, it was off a goalie save too. So
wow.
He's at 43 million. Zoller comes up, he qualifies his multi-ball, starts it, and he's just going. So right here, he's got.
What's annoying about this game is me and Colin. We were hitting shots and then we died, but we have 40 million. Yeah. Whereas if somebody was just missing shots but longer, you'd actually get more points because the stand-ups give you a lot of points, the goals give you a lot of points, the random stuff happening, whereas actually hitting the multi-ball shots themselves don't actually give you very many points. So you got to start the multi-ball if you're going that route.
Yeah. So is that I'm imagining somebody bricking shots, but they have ultra goalie on, and so they're just getting extra points here. So Jason, with his multi-ball, it's very impressive. He ends up getting to Austria, I believe. And I
think he probably gets the hole in two here, I imagine.
He did, yes, because he got about 7 or 8 jackpots. He
gets 1.5 billion or something. Yeah. It's stupid.
Yeah,
it doesn't show you the score while you're in
his head's bobbing.
Yeah, it's crazy. They were talking about how your score doesn't show until the end of multi-ball.
Yeah.
So you're kind of just you have to know the math a little bit. But if you're at 65, you can go, okay, 65 plus 60 plus 55.
That is kind of weird. They don't draw the score on the frame on the screen anywhere.
Yeah. But he does get a 2. He has a very impressive multi-ball. His last, I think it's coming up here, but he's just, there's Australia. Excuse me, not Austria. I think he beats Australia, and then he says, you know what? I think I'm almost good to go. And he's at 719, so he'll see it eventually, but he finishes with about, over $1 billion, as you said. So
you're getting 2 million every time you hit an orange target, and then you get 10 million for hitting all the, spelling striker. So that's how you can kind of see some of those points manifest.
Do you think 500? Do you think 500 million is a fair score for PinMasters on this?
I think so, because I think you basically have to start multi-ball. You could do it without multi-ball, but like I said, you'd have to be surviving a lot. But it's just over the hump of what you can do without multi-ball.
That's another reason they take the scores for NACS, right? Is to set the pars for.
Right. Yeah, they try to see what people are getting. All right, Nick's just ramping out.
Yeah, so he has a solid start, but right there, he fails a catch on the right flipper, center drain. He got his spinner for some solid points. So ball 2, he had 263. Here he's at 329. So you are about to step up, and I think the beginning of this ball is really interesting because it shows that how fast this was playing. Because it was really frantic right here. But we'll watch it. I'll let the audio play, and we'll watch it.
Well, your first ball is great, and your next 2 are not.
Right.
But,
all right, lock is lit.
Turn counts here.
Oh wait, no.
Got a safety in the left out lane.
Yep. Yeah, I hate that feed when it goes behind and backwards to the spinner.
I think it's
Yeah,
after the
parts
lock
are
is lit.
That's
Because you're trying to trap up for this multi-ball.
That's right. It's like a
Oh, you seem confused about that.
Here we go.
Okay.
Nice.
Great save. Sling.
Oh, wants it.
Oh my god.
It can be backhanded from a trap.
With the rubbers being what they are, it's so hard to get a full cradle on these balls.
Oh, let go.
Ooh.
All right, there we go.
Oh,
All right.
yes.
It's funny watching the video. Actually didn't take that long, but I remember that being like an eternity. Like it felt like pinball. Like I can't believe that just happened in like 10 seconds. It felt like it was like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's hilarious because I was watching it and it was just so funny because once you had your lock lit, I was like, all right, he's going to ski past, bump over, maybe go to try to backhand it or hit the left ramp and then go from the left flipper or try a one-timer. But it's just, it wouldn't go, you couldn't drop catch it. It just kept going. And then when you caught it and then trapped up, made that face, I was cracking up because I was like, he finally got it.
I'm so mad that I don't get the goal here. So stupid. I felt like I was a lock to get the score, and then I just fall short, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you end with about, here.
Like 380 or something.
I think you actually get it here. Yeah. You got your goal.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm short.
Oh, were you short? Okay.
Let's see.
I thought because you were at 620. Yeah, your bonus.
Oh, a bonus.
Yeah, you had 654 at the
Yeah.
end. You were at one ultra spinner shot here. I think gets you over the edge because you have it in bonus, but like they say when you're competing, never trust your bonus. But right here, I think there's like one ultra spinner.
Actually, I don't think I have it yet. I don't think I have it. Okay, now the 3 goals, that gives it to me. Without that, I think when I was in that weird state where I wasn't hitting anything, I'm pretty sure I was live for not getting it.
Well, did you have enough in bonus or
no? I don't think so. Now I do.
Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
Because you don't get much bonus unless you do that.
Do those ultra modes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you were one ultra spinner shot got you close. You got it in regulation, but I think when they count down, like right here, you're at 485. You get your ultra ramp for another 10 or 5, and then your total is 10. And then you're looking, you're at 497. You're like, I'm there, I swear to God. And then you walk away. Your TV.
But yeah, I don't think I had it because I had 467 and I don't think I had 30 million because if you look at the bonus, I only had 2 goals in 2 cities. It would have been, I don't think I would have had it. It would have been close.
You ended up with a nice healthy 654. That ultra spinner was huge because I think you got a lot of bonus there. But your total bonus 130 million. Congratulations on the 2. So you were sitting pretty. Colin gets up, starts his multi-ball, gets a few jackpots, ends up with about 288 million after his multi-ball is done. So when you get that 2, are you calculating the strokes in your head, or you're just like, all right?
Well, I think I got a 3, right?
Oh, no, a 2.
The 2, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess I was happy that I improved for sure. I was worried that Jason was still kind of untouchable, but at least I felt good that I'm keeping up a little bit, but I had that 5, so I kind of still need some more 2s or 1s.
Were you happy with your performance in qualifying as far as getting comfortable with the pins, or were you sort of seeing places you could still improve? Do you remember, when you were competing before the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I was still kind of scared of them because they're all set up really hard and, it's very high stress, but I was slowly kind of getting used to them.
Nice. Yeah, so Colin on his ball 3 beats Sweden, gets there in 3 strokes, so you've got a 2-2-3-3, and Nick is now on his ball. Fore plunged, left ramp to lock, starts his multi-ball, and he ends up finishing with 4 strokes as well. With the first 2 games down in the 2025 PinMasters, we had both Jason and RayDay get a 2, Colin McAlpine with a 3, Nick Mueller with a 4. And I do want to mention our competitors here. I should have done it in the beginning. Colin out of Texas, amazing player. Jason Zoller, top tier talent, top 3. Really nice guy. If you've ever seen him, just know you may have to wait a few seconds for him to go up and play, which was funny at last year's Worlds. Nick Mueller, and we mentioned him, and obviously our esteemed guest, Raymond Davidson, RayDay, employee at Stern Pinball and a great competitive player. So game 3 is a game Ray knows all too well. It is his darling baby, as he called it. No, just kidding. So we have Foo Fighters Pro. This is the 3rd game. The target score is 80 million. What do you think about that target score, Ray? Is that a good sort of barometer, especially with the different modes you can go through, get through one quickly, maybe shots to get the multiplier? What are your thoughts on that 80 million?
Yeah, I felt it was pretty fair.
Yeah. How did that copy play?
It was pretty forgiving. You could move it. 80 million wasn't that high of a score. A lot of people were getting holds in one in qualifying for sure.
Yeah, no,
but it's not a gimme either, because if you miss a shot, you're in danger.
Yeah, there was no ball save, right?
There's no ball save, but there is valid playfield shenanigans, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 6 strokes were 64 to 79 million, 48 to 63 million, 32 to 47 million. 9 strokes was 16 to 31, and then 10 strokes was 0 to 15 million. So you should hopefully get, here I would say in 5 balls, hopefully 6 to 7 at the worst, just based on trying to get to Overlord and starting that. Did you have any strategies that you were thinking about? Obviously, you're very in tune with how the game plays, the code. Since you worked on it, was there?
I think just beating 2 modes probably will get you there. Since it's a pro, and this copy you could hit the right ramp pretty good. So Area 51 was a good utility to kind of get going at some point.
Did you want to give a really quick rundown of how to play for the people that don't know?
Yeah. You got to hit the white arrows, light your van letters. So you spell van, and that lights the mode on the left, and you can choose whatever mode you want. I think New Orleans is pretty popular because there's always lots of shots lit, and it's pretty simple. And then Los Angeles is popular because it's just ramps. So if you want, you can just hit the left ramp. If you want more points, you can combo the ramps. And then you want to bring in your multi-ball, which is hitting that alien ship up there enough times to lock a ball and then hit it to start multi-ball.
Yeah.
And you can kind of do those together is kind of usually the plan. But you can also do them separately if you want. You can play your multi-ball without a mode and use it to juice up your van mods. And then that way when you do start the mode, it's going to be super good. And I know Josh Sharp, he always plays this for van mod, so he won't even start a mode until he has something close to the red, almost max level. So he'll just wail on those drop targets and hit the paddle. And in pin golf, that's not a bad strategy, because one mode that's super souped up can be, 60, 70, 80 million pretty easily.
Oh yeah, when I first started playing it, that's how I was playing it, because I was like, oh, I can get to the wizard mode by just juicing up the shot that spots mode shots on the van. I was like trying to go for that skill shot, the bomb shot or whatever it was. And then I would start a mode and I would need like just 2 shots. And obviously as the mode, you get through the modes, it requires more shots. But I was thinking, oh, well, if I have even if I have 30 seconds, but I only need 2 shots, that's not bad. So I can see why it would be a viable strategy for pin golf or even just competition, because your modes can get really juicy if you finish them fast, and then if you're also able to maybe hit a multiplier on the shots, you're looking at a good solid chunk of points. And for pin golf, 80 million, that's not bad at all. So here you go. There's your first ball. You want to see that again?
Oh my God!
Well,
The ball started off pretty. It started off pretty squirrely, and I even used left out lane save, which Josh would have set that to off, but I think I confused him in the settings because it says overdrive instead of left out lane ball save. So that got left on, luckily, and I used it right away. And then, whew, look at that face that missed.
That's an emote request.
Yeah.
Heartbreaker.
That is a
Just
good
nailed
emote.
that target.
Yeah, if you want the emote, Joe copied and pasted it in our outline. But yeah, so you had a Taylor combo. Again, the band combos I was noticing were good points. Like, I forgot.
Yeah, I tried to make those valuable. They were 5 million, then like 7.5,
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, I saw one of the players hits one. It's like 10 million. And when you're talking about an 80 million target score, you're an eighth there just off a band combo. And I love the center spinner to the lower left loop shot where you have to hit it like 2 or 3 times. I forgot which band member it is.
But yeah, the Nate is the hard one.
Yeah, that one I love. I just love the way it flows. I usually always go for the center spinner, right, left ramp, and then up the center spinner again, left ramp combo. But yeah, so first ball, you end up with 13 million. Colin's up, and he has a much worse ball, as you'll see here. We'll watch him. Unfortunately, Colin goes for the Overlord and no ball save. He gets.
I'm not surprised he didn't catch that ball because the tilt wasn't that bad, but it was just so fast, and he drained the same way I did, basically, just missing the Overlord.
Yeah, they were saying they think he moved it the opposite way he should have, but he ends up with 381K. Zoller steps up, and eventually he steps up over here.
Zoller has like the first bad ball of his entire weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, so when he steps up, he's choosing his song. He does get a quick, like, right there, gets one of his Overlord stand-ups, and then gets the lock ready, and boom, he is ready to go because he locks his ball here. But
now, how does it go wrong?
Well, you'll see. You'll see in a second. He goes for this. No, it's the next one.
Drain, right?
Yeah,
Center.
it's coming right here.
Oh, the same drain.
Yep.
All 3 players drained from hitting the left target on the Overlord.
Yeah, the left target would then scream right down the middle, and there was not enough time to move the machine.
I think they had the playfield waxed and the flippers strong. It was definitely fast.
So Nick steps up, and we'll get him. He starts his New Orleans, so he's rocking and rolling. This is the only ace of the of this game. I was going to say the whole round, but you guys have a really good game 4. But he starts New Orleans and Overlord multi-ball to get the nice stack. You
got the add ball from the targets on the left.
Yeah, he started Overlord instantly because he got in one shot both of the targets, and then in one rip, and then locked it. So he got the Pat combo for 10 million in the middle of multi-ball, and
he's got double scoring going.
Yeah,
that's something people might be short plunging to try to advance their double scoring. And right now it really matters because every point you're trying to get. Look at that Pat combo. Yep. That's 10 million right there.
Exactly. So I'm gonna let the audio play because he is going through his game right here, and then I want to show the ending of this because he finishes his. He's at 66 million right now, and then he's got 75. And he only needed one more shot to finish New Orleans, and he already has it. Let's hear this.
0-1.
I think he sees the score, or not yet. He's about to.
Nick is sick. Yeah.
He just wanted to. He just wanted to do that.
He might have been in double playfield there without that short plunge.
He's looking.
Strats.
Yeah.
Oh, now he knows.
Let's go.
He goes, F yeah. He's like coming off the Fore on.
Fore on World Cup.
Exactly. So he gets the hole in one. Ray steps up to his ball 2. He's going to restart New Orleans here. He started it, but he does. There's your short plunge. You're going to go up, get your van, back to New Orleans. You got a couple shots ready. You lock your ball for the Overlord, full plunge all around, and then you're going up you're going to hit your Overlord once. But you're going to have a shot here where it goes with just not enough juice. And you got your radio ready for an award if you hit it again. But here comes the halfway center spinner down the middle. Yeah. So
I just didn't shove it. I think I just didn't think it was going to drain. I would have shoved it more, but I thought I had a piece of it on the left.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought your shot was more than powerful enough, but for some reason it just lost steam, and then it just came up the center spinner and down. So you're at 19 million. Colin is going to step up, lock his balls for Overlord. Dicey start to activate his van mode. He had 2 dangers. I think he's calming down right here. But he starts Los Angeles with his Overlord multi-ball. I think that's a great decision because you can advance.
Yeah, you get all the auto plunges up the side ramp.
Yeah, and you can advance towards Area 51, right?
Right.
So you're doing a lot of things at once. If you get your first shot and then maybe hit the right ramp to get your second consecutive comboed shot, you're getting more points. Plus, you're advancing towards Area 51 multi-ball. So Colin's taking a little time. There's his double danger right there with about 3 million, but I'll move him along. He's about 70% done with LA here. He gets a small time bonus. He's trapped up in his Overlord. He's at 39.
Oh, I remember what happens. This is tragic for Colin because he basically had this hole in 2 in the bag, and something horrible happens, and it turns into a 4.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate for him, but it...
Yeah, he had done exactly what we were talking about. Prep Area 51 with LA, and he did it, right? But he was 1 shot away, and he ends with about 49, so it's coming up soon. So he's going to get it on once this multi-ball is over. I think it ends very soon because, there goes your ball save. He's got
Area 51 is almost there.
Yeah, he's holding up. Colin likes to gather himself. Do you do that too? When you're sort of playing a little squirrely?
I usually don't wait this long.
Yeah. He's
got a bot award lit on the right target too. That's like a good, I guess it'd be 5 million right now because it's got 5 bots, or maybe 2.5. I can't remember.
Yeah, he had 5 right there. So he's got his ball. He's ready to, do the thing of, do I go to my next city, get my van lights, or do I go for that Area 51? I think the smart move here was exactly that. He's got...
All right, it's ready.
It's ready. It's ready. And there it is.
Oh, that's right. Next ball is the ball that what happens, what I'm thinking happens.
But yeah, he had a sling rebound to the left out lane, which was unfortunate because all he needed was to start that, and he probably would have got very close or finishing it in 2 strokes. So Zoller is next. He locks his Overlord wow,
it must be quick. Yeah. Zoller just kind of, all of a sudden, Fu just, I couldn't believe how mean it was being to him because he loves this game, and he's always solid for like, $1 billion on it. Like,
yeah. He locked his Overlord multi-ball, and then you saw right there, he got a slow roller out the right out lane. So in competition settings, the ball, if you lock it, you have to relock it in Overlord.
Right, yeah, because otherwise, it's different. It wants to be consistent, so you have to lock it and then hit the ball to make progress. So if the ball's not there, you got to put the ball back in there. But it's not the end of the wow. I almost just died right off the plunge.
Yeah. But you did lock
It's
your.
not the end of the world. 'Cause when you relock it, you could just plunge it again. It's
Yeah.
not that hard.
But you do get your lock for All My Life, and then you're gonna get another hit here. And you got
Interesting. I did that instead of backhand the van. I guess I just really wanted to make sure I got multi-ball. Except then I didn't.
Yes.
I did it too soon. Yeah.
You shake your head because you had van ready and you wanted to start your mode before you start your multi-ball. But you start your All My Life multi-ball. You're at 25 million. You end up getting a couple shots in. Nothing too crazy.
I got the right ramp a couple of times for Area 51. I got some jackpots. Things are going decently.
Yep.
Get some man mods.
Yeah. Ball save's lit now, and you're out of multi-ball there.
But I got my right outline save. I started a mode.
Yeah. So you're gonna start LA here.
Right, because I already did some on New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I knew I was close to Area 51, so that was my plan, was just combo ramps.
Yeah, and this was a very good decision because you are hitting your shots when you're in LA. And the nice thing is the points on the extra ball were super healthy for this competition.
Yeah, 10 million.
I think it was 15. So 15 on this one because out of 80, you're looking at almost a quarter there. But during your Area 51, you activated it, and I think it's coming up eventually. You got your sling there. And what's great about watching this footage is we saw you at Starfighters, and this was also in the finals at Starfighters. And
yeah,
I remember watching it with you, and we were watching Walt play. And it was just great hearing all the commentary from everybody because Walt was doing some unorthodox things when he was playing. But you started your Area 51 jackpot. You're already at 60 million. Your extra ball is lit right there, along with the ball.
Oh, I have a 2x inlane going right now.
Yep.
Might see that inlane. Okay, it's gone now.
But
I got my add ball.
You're at 66, and then right here, extra ball. You're already at 85. You're good to go.
Right, because I had 10 million extra ball, you can see there, and then 5 million, I think, bot award.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, yeah. So you got the extra close to 20 million with things going on at the same time. You got your 90 million finish, so you finish in 3 strokes. Nick had the 1, you had the 3, and then Colin and Zoller will step up, do their thing. Colin starts Area 51 for real this time. He finished... He had picked Seattle before, but they end up going.
Oh no! What happened?
On his
ball, yeah,
his ball 3. I'll show you. So he was on Seattle. He starts
right.
Seattle.
This is where he was about to get the score, but then it doesn't. The most half ramp I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like
watch this rejection.
It's so ridiculous.
So he's going to get eventually control, I believe, on the left flipper. Because he's in Seattle. Your shots start on the right. And remember, he only needed one more right ramp to start Area 51.
And it's the Seattle shot, too.
Yep, exactly. He would have counted twice, and he goes right here.
Oh!
So
to be fair, he did miss the shot. If you follow the ball path, he was early, so the ball actually kind of snaked its way up. That's why he didn't have full power. But man, the left outlane feed, I've never seen that before. That was
mean. You don't generally see the right outlane to the right ramp reject to the left outlane. So let's hear the audio of that.
In a weird, this game does incentivize you to shats because of the targets that are in there. Oh my gosh!
I feel so bad for him because it looked like a great shot, but you're right. You just was it a little too early. So Colin doesn't start Area 51 on ball 3. Zoller starts his Overlord multi-ball on his ball 3. He does get a flip. Like you said, this food was not treating him well. But right when his multi-ball ends, he has a little bit of a flipper phone. Where is he at right now? 4 million. So he ends up with about 20. Let's get through the All My Life, and we'll show there's a move right here. He ends up with 21 million. But he has a very quick all my life multi-ball. He's so good at control too. It was crazy to kind of see this happen. He goes center there, all my life ends, and then right there.
Oh, yeah, what a weird drain.
Yeah, I'm surprised it drained on him like that because he's so good at control, clearly demonstrated by his top world ranking. But yeah, it was just unfortunate flipper fumble, and he is still at 3 or going to 4. So Colin, for real this time, starts his area 51, and he's going to be rocking and rolling. He only needed to grind out 20 million to get the 4. He's already at 68. Ball save is lit. You're right there with the 5 million for the bot award, 71. And finish it off, Colin. There you go. It gets his Taylor for 7.5. So Zoller steps up. Zoller starts New York. New York is one of my favorite van modes. Not only for the amazing callouts, but the ability to move the double shot target with the center spinner shot. I like moving it to the Overlord. If I can get it stuck there, then try to bash the Overlord to finish the mode quickly. So Zoller's going to step up, start New York. He finishes New York, and he tries the Shats to get the double points. He doesn't get it, but he does start New Orleans and a few center spinner shots there. Remember, he was at 21 million, so he needed 60 million here. But
that spinner alone gives it to him here.
Yeah, so few center spinner shots.
Wow, look at that big shot, 4.9 million.
And that was it. That was all she wrote for him. And now he can breathe easy with his 4. And he's got, I wonder why he was still going, just getting a few shots in. Yeah, he's good there. So he gets the 4. We've got a 10, 11, 8, 8. Jason and Nick Mueller after 3 games. Tied Raymond in second with 10 strokes, and Colin right behind him at 11. So going into game 4, what are your thoughts? I need the 1?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I thought I was just trying to not get 4th. So I was just trying to beat Colin. And then, of course, Colin goes first and gets a hole in 1, and I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
What did you think about Foo and your first 3 games overall, and thoughts before we get to the last game, Demo Man?
I was pretty happy. I got the aside from countdown, I got the score in par, especially in 3 or less balls. I'm always happy if I get the score, 3 or less.
Nice.
And countdown felt okay because that one could have been worse because I got like a 7 in qualifying. So getting a 5, I felt, at least it wasn't worse.
I remember watching the stream back. I think even the chat was like, I think this is like a 2-horse race right now.
Yeah,
it's gonna be between Jason and Nick.
Demolition Man of all games, like the score on Demo Man was pretty low. If you could do it in one quick multi-ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Demo Man, where it's coming up, we have a target score of 500 million. 6 strokes was 400 to 499, 7 300 to 399, 8 200 to 299, 9 100 to 199, and 10 strokes 0 to 99. Now, normally, as I've said in the episode already, you should be, there are enough things you can get in 5 balls where you should, hopefully get a 5 or nothing near a 10. This one was crazy. Do you want to explain sort of a quick primer on Demo Man?
Yeah, I mean, it's really important to plunge and use that upper flipper to hit that shot right there because that feeds your in lane, and the right in lane lights the left ramp to lock balls. So you really need that shot to feed the right in lane, and then you got to combo the left ramp. And you can also hit the right ramp to get access to the claw, which will either it'll either light multi-ball or start multi-ball. And I always like, especially in this format where you only need 500 million, I like to start multi-ball. So I like to light multi-ball with the in lane and the ramp, and then go straight into starting multi-ball with the right ramp. Because if you start multi-ball from the right ramp, you get an extra ball in play, as opposed to if you start it from the left orbit, you'd only get a 2-ball multi-ball. So that's kind of my opener on Demo Man. But some people like to save the right ramp for multi-ball 2 when you need to lock more balls, because then it can light your multi-ball. You don't have to lock 2 balls, because to light the right in lane, you actually have to hit those yellow stand-up targets.
Oh, really?
Which obviously is pretty dangerous.
Do you ever make use of the gun triggers or the
Handles?
The handles?
I used to. I don't do it anymore. It's just not. It's not worth it. Most of your bonus doesn't come from combos. It comes from claw awards, and so that's why I rushed the claw right away. The claw is just worth so many points, and that's the right ramp after, you hit the left in lane and then lights the right ramp. And if your left in lane isn't lit, you got to hit the bumper lanes to light your left in lane.
So what is the advantage of using the handles? More points on the combos?
Yeah, you get an extra million per combo.
Okay.
So in bonus. So when you drain, you get, if you had 10 combos, you'll get 10 million in bonus. But if you did them with the trigger, you'd get 20 million in bonus, which it can matter if you're all in on it and you're getting lots of bonus multipliers and you do it early on because it holds throughout the whole game. But you got to be pretty committed with those triggers. It's kind of awkward.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they were saying in the commentary booth that Luke Horniak will play using the flipper buttons, and then he'll switch to the triggers in between the shots just to hit, get the bonus for the combos.
That's true. You can kind of trick it into giving you the trigger combo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So did you, when you saw which bank and which games were picked, were you breathing a sigh of relief after Jason's picks? Were you...
I wasn't, they were okay. I didn't like Countdown.
Yeah.
The other 3 were fine. I think I aced Demo Man in qualifying, so I was feeling good about that. And
Okay.
World Cup, I think I got a 3 or something in qualifying, so I knew that it wouldn't be like super hard.
That's good, because I was going to ask, would you have preferred, to end on Foo or, to end on something else, but it ends up working out for you. So as you've described the strategy in playing Demo Man, it's interesting because it just seems like there was a lot of bad luck for the first 2 players on this game, other than you and Colin. We had Nick come up, and he's going to step up, and you're going to see exactly how mean Demo Man can be. So he's going to launch, he's going to take a big breath, go up. Was that left ramp seemed really hard to get up to, because you had a few rejects on it, and I was like, what is going on here? Was there just not enough power?
Yeah, you really gotta nail it.
Yeah, so he's going to have a right there. Yep.
Just never got control.
Yeah, and they were saying that he could have maybe moved it a little more to get under control. But when they were doing practice, I noticed the moves.
It was tilty. Yeah, I don't think you could have moved it.
Yeah, it looked a little tighter than expected. So Nick is going up, Zoller, Colin, and then Ray. So Zoller is going to step up eventually. I think I'll just move the footage along till he gets here. And so here he comes, I believe, but Zoller is not going to have a good ball. Just like Foo Fighters was treating him poorly. Let me get here. Let's see here. Press launch. He
doesn't even need a hole in one. He just needs
2.
2.
At worst, he needs 2 for the win, because you can only get a 1 and right there. And
wow.
It's not coming back. It was a bricked ramp, sent it straight down the middle. So he's at 11.6 million. And as Joe put in the chat, and as the announcers were saying, they were like, Colin and Ray are happy right now because that was a quick ball. And if they get a hole in one, they are looking somewhat decent. So Colin steps up. He's going to get a very nice quick ball save. See how that... Woo.
Oh, I can't believe that, because Jason did not get a ball save.
Yeah, that was some crazy spin to go to the out lane, and then he gets the ball save. He does eventually start is Fortress Multiball the one on the... Which one is that? That's
the first one.
Gotcha.
That you get from locking.
Okay.
So he's going to probably go up the middle or left ramp. Yeah, middle, because he needs the right in lane is what he needs. And this demo man was kind of particular because the middle would never feed your upper flippers. So if you didn't get that side shot from the plunge, it was a pain in the butt to try to get it. There we go. There's the left feed. Okay. Yeah. So now he can hit the left ramp. That'll light luck. He'll hit the right ramp to start multi-ball. Oh, I don't know what that shot was. Maybe just early.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit early. So he's going to, take a second. But he does get to...
He goes left orbit here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he starts his multi-ball only a 2-ball. But it means his next multi-ball he can light from the right ramp in one shot. So it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah, he's got, and these jackpots are great. 20 million. He's already at 76, and again, 500 million target score. Another one, and it's over. So he's after his multi-ball ends, and there's the secret jackpot. Super jackpot was lit. He's already at 173 after that first multi-ball. He's going to go to the claw here once he does. What your computer awards, are those the mystery awards?
Yeah, for combos.
Gotcha. So the reason we're watching these balls sort of play out in real time is because we do get a very good finish for both Colin and Ray. And we'll watch Ray's ball in full. He's at 190. I'll try to move Colin along a little because he's... stopping a little right there, and there he gets his museum multi-ball to start. 209 each jackpot.
He probably gets it in this multi-ball, I would assume, or in bonus at least.
Mm-hmm. So he's at his second multi-ball. He ends this one with about, I think he's going to get one more jackpot and finish with about 360 million. Yeah, so gets his quick freeze. There's some modes, ACMAG and Simon. Are you choosing ACMAG for a reason, or is there any reason?
Yeah, I mean, it's the easiest mode. You shoot up the middle, and you get points.
Okay. So, yeah, the bonus on this was really nice and healthy. Colin is well over halfway to...
look at that inlane.
His ACMAG right there is building. The score is building. He's just got to shoot the center again. I noticed this when I played it recently. I was always shooting late, and I couldn't figure out why I wasn't hitting that center.
I call it the spatula.
Yeah, and I realized you have to shoot a lot earlier than normal, than I would expect. So,
did you play these games? You played in PinMasters?
I didn't play this year. I've played. They have a demo man locally. I would like to play in PinMasters. I was trying to justify it, but there was so much that I had just done or was going to. We had Starfighters and then TPF.
March is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's PinMasters, TPF, Cactus Jacks was right after, so it was it was not in the cards. But I would like to make it up. I was hoping to go to this one because I wanted to see the RPC. So Colin starts his Simon mode, which is 3 shots?
Yep.
Do they all stay lit, or does it go away when you
it looks like you can hit anything 3 times, yeah.
Gotcha. So he's already
wow, he did it.
Yeah. There it is. Do you prefer this or Judge Dredd?
I think I don't know. I mean,
or Johnny Mnemonic of the 3.
For the movie or the pin?
Pin.
I think maybe Demo Man probably has the best layout and rules in general over all of those.
Yeah.
But it's close.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. So here you are.
I started off the way I wanted, which is, side scoop, left ramp, right ramp. So that's the perfect start. I get my 3-ball multi-ball. Unfortunately, I blow this by hitting the shot I need 3 times without hitting the center. Okay, now I need to hit the side shot, and of course I can't. So I should have used my secret jackpot to spot the middle. Instead, I use it to spot the side scoop. But now I need to hit the left ramp.
What is the secret jackpot?
you hit the trigger, all the trigger buttons
Gotcha.
to spot one. Yeah, unfortunately, I just never can hit that left ramp, which is a shame because that would have lit my super jackpot. I go for some last minute shenanigans here. Doesn't work. And now I'm just kind of stuck in this eternal up the middle battle. Just hoping the ball will eventually feed my upper left flipper.
Yeah, it was kind of you had a lot of shots up that left ramp near the end of this too, and it was see right there.
Oh,
Yep. Because I'm just trying to get combos, just get any points at all. Try to get my claw because I know I've got bonus multiplier. And your claw is 10 million in bonus, so with a bonus multiplier, you want to get more claws.
Yeah, it was. Does this have a max multiplier on the bonus up top?
5x, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see, look, I'm already
3x.
filling it up here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really need a claw here. Here we go. Claw's ready. I nail it. So that shot right there was probably about 40 million.
Nice.
Now I can light my lock, or no, I do ACMAG.
Yeah.
I believe.
So, yeah, you start ACMAG. You had about, where were you at here already? I think you were already 360-ish. I forgot. Your bonus was
that
really
left
nice.
ramp just all of a sudden disappeared from existence.
Yeah, that's 3 straight shots right there. Just all coming back down. But you're getting healthy points from ACMAG and everything else right now. Yep, look. He just won't come back. But again, you've got your ACMAG almost done. You're getting 10 million up there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just focused on what the game has given me, and the game has given me bonus multipliers, so I'm just going to keep taking them.
Yeah. Boom. 46 million total for ACMAG. 11 million.
So I got 11 million. That was for completing the top lanes when bonus is maxed.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it gives you points.
You're already at 320 million right there.
See? 12 million.
And then now,
I'm just keep sending it up there because it's giving me points.
are you thinking that you already have it because of the bonus or no?
I know I'm pretty close.
Okay.
I need another claw would do it, so that's why I'm trying to hit that stupid left ramp, and it just is not happening. I guess I could technically hit the eyeball shot. I've never even thought about that, but you could hit that eyeball shot to feed your left in lane.
Ah. And what does the eyeball shot spot you or give you?
It's just like points that you see how it says retina scan. Actually,
gotcha.
It would be worth 25 million right now.
Gotcha.
The bumper. So actually, that would have been the play, especially with that left ramp not working. But
there it is.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I knew I could get it eventually. Woo! Oh, look at that second chance. That's what makes or breaks a good pinball player is what you do with those second chances.
Yeah, it's sometimes the gods giveth, and you've got to take advantage of it.
So right there, once I made that shot, I knew I was golden. So no more tilting.
Yeah, because you start Simon here, and there's this car chase, I saw Simon captured 25 million. 469, cryo claws active.
Boom.
Man, I really wish I would have done that. I wish I would have just trapped up and nailed that eyeball shot so everyone would be like, what the heck? And then they see I get 25 million, lights my claw, shoot the claw, and then that would be sweet.
Yeah,
I've never actually tried the eyeball shot, though, so it might be actually really hard. I have no idea where that shot is.
Yeah, woo! There is your ace, your hole-in-one. 2 hole-in-ones, which is crazy because, as we'll see, you were up on Colin after 3 games by 1 stroke. So anything less than a 1 there because of his ace,
we would be in a tie.
Yeah, you would have had to go to a tiebreaker. So now you are at 11. Colin is at 12. Nick and Jason cannot get worse than a 3 because that would mean they don't get the tiebreaker. So this is ball 2. Nick Mueller is stepping up. And I don't think, just from like the first ball, I think he was, I don't know if it was affecting maybe his outlook on it because it was just a bad break. But here he has a catch that I don't think he would normally make. You'll see it come here and right there.
Oh.
Yeah, just a bad read and a bad catch. I didn't expect that to drain on him, but it's that small little...
It's almost like he thought he had ball save, because normally you would bail out. Like, after you make a bad catch, you try to flip it, but he just kind of watched it drain, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I thought it would give it back to him, but man, that was a quick ball save. So he's at 60 million. Zoller is going to step up, and he is here at 11 million on ball 2. So now Nick... the best he can do is get it in the next, go for a tiebreaker on the next hole, on the next ball 3. Zoller
and
gets...
Jason here, if Jason gets it, he wins.
Yeah, exactly. But he gets, he gets the sling to the left out lane. So no matter what, the best anybody can do for Ray is get a tiebreaker with him. And Joe points out, in the notes, Andy Bagwell said that was your most unorthodox 500 million ever in Demo Man. He said it in chat. It was kind of funny. So Nick is up, or he's going to be up eventually. He's got to plunge everybody out. And, the smile was, I think the ball gave him like the ball save real quick. And he was like, come on, that's what I should have had on that last ball that I had. So,
yeah, this game has a really weird ball save. I don't understand it.
Is that something that's set up or for competition, or is it just...
Well, I mean, they turn it off if they could, but I'm guessing you can't turn it off, so...
Yeah, it's turned down.
Turned down, okay. So here Nick is stepping up for ball 3. This is to get a tiebreaker at the very best. And he's got 16 million. He finally gets the ball up in the pops, gets his 2x. And he's going to get really mad soon because he just wants the ball back. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Nope. No dice. He was yelling. Yeah, he was yelling there. Please just give me the ball.
I guess that's why I just kept throwing it up the middle, because there was less side to side, right? If you're going up the middle, that's why whenever I kept half ramping the left ramp, I kept trying because it wasn't really killing me.
Yeah, no, and that's
eating the stop lanes too.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. Like going up the middle, because this one was moving so fast. You might as well at least get it up there and then maybe get some control, or at least a one-timer when it's coming back down. Joe, have you played this a bunch in tournaments?
We used to have one on location. It was one of the first games I kind of learned how to play. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it's a great one. Enjoy it.
Nice. So ball 3. Jason Zoller, you have to hit the target here, or our special guest, Raymond Davidson, will win the 2025 PinMasters. So
I'm out of nowhere, because I was not expecting. I was losing. I had 5. I was down by. What was going into that?
Going into that, you were down by 2 strokes. So the standings here could have completely flipped after demo, which is crazy because it just takes one bad game in pin golf.
I know. I was just saying how I don't like that, but it worked out in my favor.
It definitely did. So I'm waiting for Zoller to come up here. If you're listening on audio, we are watching the footage. I strongly recommend that you go to the YouTube page and watch this podcast in video form so you can follow along with us. Here Jason goes. He has a double danger coming up, I believe. He's at about, see, he's moving it right there.
Oh, wow. 30? I thought I was done. I thought as soon as he didn't tilt that he was going to go all the way, because that's usually how it happens. But it would still be a tiebreaker if he did go all the way.
Yes, even if he made the 500 target here, at worst or at best, he can get a tiebreaker with you. But I think I know what that feeling or that mentality, because he's so good. I've seen so many great players like yourself. Once they make a big move and they're stuck on 2 dangers, then it's ice in your veins and you're hitting every shot.
Oh, do you think he kind of sent the ball over there with the upper flipper? That was kind of weird.
This was a bricked left ramp to left out lane. Let's see if I can watch that.
It looks like he tried to flip it into the ACMAG even, or the scoop.
So it's coming back right here. We're going to get the double danger again, and we'll watch the footage. So there's his double danger. at 34 million. And he's trying, I think you're right, Joe. So he's going to take his time, let it settle. Brush the hair across. I get it. I've done it plenty of times. My long locks.
Yeah, I think he hits the left ramp target, upper left flipper, right out lane.
So he's thinking. And here he goes. Come on. Boom. Nope.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh,
It was just a bad.
I don't know. Well, he was going for the multi-ball start,
Yeah.
and he hit
Yeah.
below the upper flipper.
the left orbit.
So that
Yeah.
would seal the victory for our guest, Raymond Davidson. Congratulations. And hell yeah. And so,
And then we get this awesome montage of Nick and Jason just absolutely getting destroyed, and it's hilarious.
They both take a 9.
yeah, that is crazy because they do end up
Unusual.
with a 9. And I was going to the footage because I was going to go here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to this because I wanted to say congratulations. Let me turn this on, and then we're going to turn this off. But here we go. There it is. There's our happy winner. Congratulations on your 2025 PinMasters. Do you have any sort of final thoughts? I'm going to ask you a question about it, but just your overall experience this year compared to other years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always just happy to qualify, and it went pretty smooth. My worst thing, I got like a 9 on Alien Star in qualifying, which was so disappointing because it's just literally like one shot to get the score, and I just couldn't do it in 5 balls. But after that game, I guess I don't know, I focused up and I was like, well, I just gotta try to get the score from now on. And luckily the 9 just kind of went out in the wash with through the other 17 games. So it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint when you're playing in PinMasters. You just gotta keep trying your hardest, and you never know what'll happen, especially in finals, as we just found out.
That was a complete flip of the standings, and I was going to ask for you for any advice you want to give anybody out there about a competition like this, and I think you just said it really well. You're never out of it, and anything could happen, especially in pin golf. Did you get to pick the new inbox? What was your prize? Let's explain to people what the prize was.
Yeah, you get a new inbox Stern Pro. So I got a new inbox Foo Fighters.
Ooh.
Oh.
What was the reasoning behind that? You just wanted to get one in the house again, or?
Well, actually, I worked out a deal and was able to send it to someone who was looking for Foo Fighters, and they just sent me money. So I actually just got money, which was even better.
I was going to say, you've had enough time on Foo Fighters. Let's figure out a way to cash that in. That's awesome. Cash is king sometimes. Thank you for joining us on that review. Joe, do you have any questions for Ray?
Yeah, no. Was that your first PinMasters win, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know I don't think I did make Final Four at PinMasters. Was my other best finish. I got 4th. That was against Jason, Escher, and I don't remember who was the 4th, but unfortunately I got 4th in that. I remember it was on Godzilla. I had a meltdown, and Escher and Jason pulled through. So I had another chance where Game 4 I could have won PinMasters, but this was a good way to avenge that, I suppose. But other than that, I usually don't have many expectations going into PinMasters. I kind of just do it because, it's fun and it's a big points opportunity. If you do win, the prize is great, and it's a circuit event, so you get those circuit points, and it's just it's just a good time, and you get to see all the national winners, so it's kind of like a family gathering again. You see everybody, and it's just a good time. Have
a lot of the faces changed or remained the same throughout your?
There's always new faces, but it's usually you see kind of the same people. Yeah. Especially the people that are kind of sly enough to go to different states. Make sure they're always qualified somewhere. I didn't do that. I just went to Illinois because it's 15 minutes down the road at Interium, and I got plowed by a ZMAC train. Just didn't lose a single game in Illinois, which was crazy. But yeah, it's fun, this whole nationals and PinMasters thing, and it leads to a lot of great stream because it's head to head for nationals, and then you get this cool golf format. It's a good time.
Yeah, no, it was great to watch. Congratulations, man. It's always fun watching you play, competing against you. I'm glad to have met you, Joe, and everybody since I've started this competitive journey. And it's always interesting to hear top players' kind of thoughts and what they did and what they should have done. And it's awesome to see when you're watching it and you're talking to us. You're like, I should have hit that damn the retina shot. And,
I'm always looking for different things, and countdown. I didn't realize I could have gone for that red target. World Cup, I probably should have ski passed instead of taking that on the fly death shot. So yeah, if you want to also if you ever do get the pleasure of being on stream, it's good to go back and watch. I should do it more. I kind of usually don't, but I should.
I mean, there's a lot of footage of you, so get cracking. So we are going to do our rapid fire round. Just feel free to say the first thing that comes to your mind on what your answer is. Joe, if you want to, we'll flip flop and switch off. What do you think is better, flipper skills or nudging skills?
Joe or me?
You.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Red.
Oh.
I don't need to talk. Me and Joe talk enough.
I think probably flipper skills because it's both accuracy and recovery, whereas nudging is just recovery.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, classic EMs, DMDs, or modern LCDs.
It depends. For tournaments, I guess the DMDs. For home use, I like the LCDs.
Nice. Favorite non-pinball arcade game?
I like Galaga. I'm pretty good. Well, I'm not like that good, but like I don't know. I can sometimes get the two ships going at once, and it feels really good. And Miss Pac-Man when it's going really like they have the fast ROM or whatever. Like, that's fun.
Nice. Least favorite pinball machine ever.
Least favorite. I guess I'll say Algar. That game kind of sucks.
Oh, Algar taking shots from nowhere. Just kidding. Favorite city for pinball tournaments?
Ooh, it's hard to beat Seattle.
Yeah,
Seattle's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Nice. Banjo or Kazooie?
Ooh, I mean you gotta go with Kazooie. She's way more funny, but Banjo is definitely, it's the lovable honey bear, and I kind of relate to him. Yeah, why make me choose like that?
That's the name of the game. Favorite or best rare game?
Oh, I think I've been going with Banjo Tooie lately. I think it's the best of everything. The more filled out world with funnier, characters and more to explore and do. Yeah, I'm also partial to Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, nice.
Just because it was my first video game.
Nice.
Love that one. Nice. It's Fine or Bozo?
Oh, I love Bozo. I think that's more trendy. I think it's fun to say.
I have a special Bozo emote just for you.
Yeah, it's like, when you screw something up, you're like, oh, that was a Bozo move.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that is our time, man. Do you have any final thoughts? We also want to make sure that we thank you and again say congratulations. I'm very happy for you. Happy it all worked out. A good flip of the standings on Game 4. It's always an amazing pleasure to watch you play, talk to you, and aside from your competitive side, you do great things in the world of pinball. I love playing the pins you've coded. I've got some here. I'm looking forward to hopefully one day having my own little corner. And make sure you check out RayDay at twitch.tv/RayDayPinball. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to plug or say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm RayDay Pinball on YouTube, Twitch. I think I even have a website still, raydaypinball.com. Yeah, go play some Rush or some Foo, some Metallica Remastered. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I love pinball, and it was fun talking to you guys.
Thanks. Joe, any final words? Sorry, forgot to ask you.
No, you're good. Yeah, appreciate it, Ray. Me and Hadi, as being fellow members of the 30+ community, we're always glad to root you on, and especially in these major tournaments. So yeah, keep up the great work, man. It's always fun to watch you.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Thanks again. This is episode 7 of Wizards and Warriors. Our special guest, Raymond Davidson, the 2025 PinMasters champion, competitive player extraordinaire, and we will see you all later. Bye.
All right.
See ya.
The lights are flashing, the bells are ringing. I step up to the table, my heart is singing. The crowd is watching, the tension is high. I'm ready to play, it's time to defy it. Pinball warriors, we're ready to fight. Multiball madness, it's hard to lie. Uppers and flippers, we're in control. Pinball wizards, we got the soul. Ball rolling, chasing the light. The arcade's alive, but flippers respond to my every command. In the pinball kingdom, I make my stand. Pinball warriors, we're ready to fight. Multiball madness, it's our delight. Uppers and flippers, we're in control. Pinball wizards, we got the soul.